Pentagon briefing on planning for a possible war with China. The president acknowledging that Musk has business interests in China, but says the story isn't true and that he checked with his chief of staff and defense chief as soon as he saw it.
We don't want to have a potential war with China, but I can tell you if we did, we're very well equipped to handle it. But I don't want to show that to anybody, but certainly you wouldn't show it to a businessman who is helping us so much. He's a great patriot. He's paying a big price for helping us cut costs.
The defense secretary says Musk went to the Pentagon for a meeting on costs and efficiencies. This as the president was announcing a contract for new Air Force fighter jets.
Boeing won an initial $20 billion contract to build the next generation of fighters, the F-47, with stealth and penetration capabilities exceeding anything currently in the Air Force fleet.
There's never been anything even close to it, from speed to maneuverability to what it can have to payload.
President Trump announced the award in the Oval Office alongside Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
We will be able to project power around the globe unimpeded for generations to come.
The president says much of the F-47's capabilities will remain secret, but says it has been in testing for several years.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The president also just telling reporters there will be flexibility on tariffs, but he's sticking with the overall plan.
April 2nd is going to be Liberation Day for America.
That's when a reciprocal tariff policy kicks in. Europe's busiest airport, Heathrow in London, just announcing some flights can resume today after an electrical substation fire shut down the airport, disrupting flights around the world. But they don't expect to resume full operations until tomorrow, and the first flights today will bring stranded passengers back from other airports in Europe and get planes back in the right place. America is listening to Fox News.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance. But Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Partly sunny skies, wind gust up to 40 miles per hour. Temperature 67, a lot of dust, smoke, pollen, and a high fire danger into the evening. Tonight, clear skies, evening temperatures drop into the 50s, 39 for the low. Saturday, sunny, 59. Sunday, morning showers, otherwise lots of clouds, and 65. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Well, if you're like me and you enjoy wine, especially quality wine, you have to try the delicious wines from Stonehill Winery. This winery, if you've never been there, it's in Hermann, Missouri, so it's local, been around since 1847. Listen to this. Stonehill's Cross J. Norton wine beat out 235 other wines in a Missouri wine competition this year and ended up winning the Governor's Cup. Stonehill is Missouri's oldest and now most awarded winery. The winery itself, this is really cool. It has the largest series of underground vaulted cellars in North America. So what's cool is if you get a chance to go to Hermann, you can stop into Stonehill Winery and take a tour. Really cool. They do all kinds of events there, weddings. Think about how cool that would be. I got to try some of Stonehill's Ozark Hellbender the other night. It's a dry red wine, and it's fantastic. Actually, listen to the description of this wine, okay? Aromas of sweet cherry, blueberry pie smeared with a plum compote and drizzled with cinnamon sticks and toasted oak goodness. You can find Stonehill wines at virtually any retail store here in Missouri. Brought to you by our friends at Lore Wine and Spirits.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Our firm handles hundreds of crash cases involving semi-trucks every year. A crash case involving semis is much different, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can leave lots of money on the table. Many times there is separate insurance for the cab and for the trailer. Sometimes there are actually layers of other insurances and excess insurance that some lawyers may not know about because they don't see that many cases. We see these cases every day. Also, there are federal laws governing the hours a driver may drive in a 24-hour period and logs that are required. A A crash case involving a semi-truck is a totally different animal than a simple car crash. We have lawyers who only handle these cases. It's all they do. Rolling the dice with the wrong law firm can be disastrous. Call us on your cell phone at Pound Law, pound 529. It's so easy. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I put money into real estate, and from there came one of my largest returns on one of our properties, which is about close to 300% return in about 14 months.
That's Joe Cantu on what Lifestyles Unlimited has done for him. Join Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited for Expo 2025, May 7th through the 10th in Irving, Texas. Get hands-on training from successful investors and learn proven strategies that work. Save $100 when you text EXPO to 88007, EXPO to 88007.
It's Power Torque Tools DIY days at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Save $20 on a Power Torque 248-piece mechanics tool set. Power Torque professional hand tools have a lifetime guarantee, available only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
The Vaults for many, many decades, and they said we have to do something like drapes or something because the light eventually affects it. And it's very cool. Oh my gosh. Make way. Just went up yesterday.
So I
Think Joe Biden would do this? I don't think so. Do you think he'd think of it?
Welcome to the Annie Fry Show. Happy Friday. So we talked to you yesterday about the tour of the White House, the Oval Office, I should say specifically, that Donald Trump gave Laura Ingraham. And there's a new meme born. And you know what? Here's the deal. Some of y'all out there don't know what a meme is because you're not engrossed in the social media.
It's just such a funny picture.
Explain it.
There's no audio.
Hold on a second. Explain what a meme is. Both of you, I want Ryan, your definition first. Brad, you can correct me.
Okay. A meme is the internet version of a political cartoon. That is a...
It doesn't have to be political, though.
No. Well, okay. Yeah, it could be just sharing some sort of point, usually funny, by putting a picture or multiple pictures together to share some sort of bit of information with you.
Okay.
That's all it is. And it could be, a lot of it's pop culture images.
I like that you refer to it as a political cartoon, though, because there can be humor or satire or a tongue-in-cheek approach to something that when everyone sees it, everyone can collectively go, oh, yeah, that's right. What do you think, Brad?
Well, I think Ryan's on track here, but I think the only thing I would
Ryan.
I would add to that is that then once one person creates one, then other people take it and put their own little twist on it and their own little twist on it, and it evolves and changes over time.
Yeah. So it kind of it takes on a life of its own. So the meme that has been born yesterday, if you listen to the show, I was talking about how Donald Trump was walking Laura Ingraham through the Oval Office and explaining the portraits that were everywhere, the gold cherubs that are above the window or the doors when you walk in, and angels are supposed to bring good luck. And he's got this this elementary school easel in the middle of the Oval Office, and it's got a poster board of Gulf of America on it. But over to his right, if he's sitting in the Resolute desk in the Oval Office, are some beautiful blue, thick, velvety curtains that are hanging from gold rings on a gold bar, and they're hiding something. And it is the Declaration of Independence. And he's like, come here, you got to see this. So he walks Laura Ingraham over, and he's like, and he says there, do you think Joe Biden would have thought to do this? But now what happens in the meme world, when he goes to draw back these beautiful regal curtains, it's a picture of something else. And in this case, Ryan, walk us through what you're seeing here.
So this is a picture. You really need to come see it because I've seen it already before this, and it made me crack up, but it's so ridiculous.
Did you see the picture before or the meme?
No, I've seen this video.
This video?
Like right before the show, so you playing it was funny. This is a for him to be actually, it looks so real that if he were to have opened the curtain and that be behind it, what would Laura Ingraham have done?
Well, we haven't said what it is.
Okay, it is a picture of, I guess, JD Vance.
Heck yeah.
Made into some sort of like forest gnome with a lot of hair, looking real bizarre.
Lots of beard.
And it's it's like a couple standing and looking at what is like a mountain of this weird looking face of JD Vance with all these little sprouts of the same face of JD Vance all around them as if they are in the Beatles' Yellow Submarine video. It is like a trip. It looks like it's like 1970s on acid, but with JD Vance as sort of gnome.
Was it last week that we were talking? I feel like it was Vanity Fair wrote an article about how the right was like basically bullying JD Vance by taking his face and turning it into memes. Yeah. And it was super self-righteous of Vanity Fair to be like, they're treating JD Vance with such disrespect. And you're like, JD Vance probably is the person on the planet who loves them the most. What do you think JD Vance did when someone said, Mr. Vice President, you have to see this. And shows him Donald Trump unveiling not the Declaration of Independence, but this meme of JD Vance. It's just funny. It's fun to laugh again. It's fun to be funny again. It's fun to be able to make fun of things in good faith and just find it stupidly funny. And we get to do that on this side of the Trump inauguration.
It says on the picture, which doesn't make any sense. It says all these gnome faces popping up out of the ground like they're Cabbage Patch heads of JD Vance, and it says on it, "Did you even say thank you?" Which doesn't mean anything.
It does. It's from the Zelensky meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay, but why this?
Why not?
I guess not. I don't know.
I think part of like the description. The definition of what memes are should be, why not? Why wouldn't we?
The other thing that I actually really appreciate is that this is a moving camera. This isn't a still turn this is a fluid person walking with a phone.
It takes a little skill.
It takes some real skill to make that look real.
To meme a new image in the place of the Declaration of Independence. And folks, as I said at the beginning of this, a new meme is born because Donald Trump is going to be revealing all sorts of things behind those curtains for the rest of time. For history.
Yeah. Somebody's going to write a program that you can plug any picture into that video and you'll just see them forever.
And do the contrast here. When you look at what the other side is doing to have fun, it's Tim Walz threatening to beat up Republicans as if somehow or another that's actually going to be an effective strategy or even a provable one. And standing on a stage in front of a lot of seemingly disenfranchised, angry Democrat voters saying, you guys, if you can't get through the day, just put the Tesla stock on your phone. There's an app for that. You can put it on there and you can watch it go down. How sad.
I mean, they're not in a good position. You know, when you're the losing party, you gotta do the old postmortem and figure out what went wrong. But they're trying really hard to stay in the public eye for some reason right now. I don't know if that's because that's the only way for them to continue to get donations or something. I don't know. This would be a time where you kind of step back, and they're not stepping back. They are wanting your attention.
Well, in another little exercise of how are things going for the left? You know, genuine and general comedy is permittable now. We can laugh at things without having to be canceled. You can laugh at things that are maybe a little bit on the boundary or a little bit off color, and people can laugh at you for the things about you that might be a little like we don't have these strict everybody hold on tight because we're out to cancel people now. You can look at something and go, that sucks and I don't like it. That's stupid. I'm not a fan of the person of using the word retard. I'm going to say it here for the sake of communication standpoint. That is the bust through the door way that people on, I would say, the right and the libertarians of the world have said, we're going to say what we want to say and we don't care what you think about it. I still, as an American, get to choose to not use that word. I still don't want to hear my kids use that word. And I'm going to raise them to be that way. But the stranglehold that the left had on punching you in the face until you agreed with everything they said, or if you disagreed, you knew it was time to shut the hole in your face. That is the way that it has been presented to us since probably 2008. That's just started to crumble down. And it's amazing to watch the left consume the stupidest memes that you could possibly, I couldn't come up with that myself. That level of creativity?
Just the beautiful hair they put on JD Vance in that. That stuff's funny, man.
Thinking like, watching that and thinking of them sitting around, or even if it's just one person going, I can make this more ridiculous. There's more here. I haven't fully tapped into my potential. But watching the left try to analyze it and use it against the right, and the right's like, this is amazing. It's just getting better and better. So we wanted to do a little experiment here. I saw some screenshots on X, and I thought, well, let's bring it home. Let's bring it local. Snow White, Disney Snow White, big opening weekend for Disney Snow White. She's not white. That is, what's the word? Stunning and brave? I don't know. She doesn't want her prince to save her. She said so. That story is tired and old. Like, what is it, 1937, I think is when Snow White originally came out. And Rachel Zegler, is that her name? Is that Snow White? Yeah. She came out, she's like, that story is so old and like backwards. And she basically made a bunch of comments about how the Snow White story sucks. But she's Snow White, so take that for what you will. It's not going to be about that. It's going to be about her finding her own potential. Like, I don't need no man to kiss me when I'm asleep in the woods with some magical creatures, not even dwarves. Well, there's some screenshots going around X, and I was like, let's do this on our own, of how well the movie theaters are filling up for this big opening weekend. We have been talking about Disney Snow White. The news media has been talking about Disney Snow White for years. Peter Dinklage came out and was like, oh, Disney, you're going to make Snow White a Latina, but you're still gonna push the trope of little people, dwarves living in caves. To which we had this conversation before, but I did not know that was a caricature. That dwarves lived in caves. In the woods.
Yeah, apparently. Which would solely come from that movie. Like, that's not a thing outside of that movie.
Like, the only thing people know about dwarves is from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. That they're hardworking individuals. Yeah. Very caring, compassionate, and welcoming.
And also a little bit caricatured because each one just does one thing.
Yeah.
You know.
But I think that didn't really reflect as much on the dwarves because they all did different things, so they're pretty dynamic.
Very true.
As a group.
Yeah. They're all dynamic except for Sleepy. He was just sleepy.
You said that like it should have been preceded by In a World. Except for Sleepy. He was just sleepy. So let's look around. Which movie theater are you looking at right now?
I'm looking at O'Fallon 15 Cine. So this is in O'Fallon, Illinois. One of the places we go often when we go see movies. And you got the screenshot there to see how it's doing locally.
Well, why don't you walk us through it? Because it's radio, so they need to hear your voice.
So this
is our first week on radio. Yesterday was a
yeah,
trip.
We're sharing memes that are purely visual.
No, we're not.
This is what the most popular. So I chose 7:30 because I thought that would be like the most popular time to go see a movie. It could be right in that zone, but that was the number one. This is the seating chart for tonight at 7:30 in O'Fallon.
Are the gray boxes the reserve seats?
Those are the reserve seats. So all the white boxes that you can see are all still open.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 seats are reserved.
13 seats reserved, and
For
that's a
7:30.
pretty big theater, and that's 7:30 tonight. That's prime time tonight.
Don't you only reserve seats in the big theaters? Like if you go to see one that doesn't have recliners or rumble seats or a Dolby blah blah blah.
Yeah, I don't actually know. I don't do this a lot. We don't go see movies a whole lot. But you said, because I said, is this normal, Annie? Because you've seen movies recently, even Disney movies or kids movies, that you said at this time going into a Friday, that theater would be almost full right now. And there are very few seats reserved.
I'm looking at the Edwardsville Snow White 6:30 p.m. show tonight. Let's see, share this tab instead. And you can put it up there, Brad, if you can see it. It's kind of hard to follow here, but
holy smokes. Wow.
It's a full, huge, it's like, I think the biggest one. There are 6 seats, smack dab, middle of the row, middle of the theater, 6 seats reserved, and 4 seats. This really is frustrating to me because if I wanted to see this movie, those 4 seats at the very back in the center, those are the seats that I would sit in.
Yeah.
Maybe my husband's taking me. He knows me better than that. There are 10 seats in this theater it's probably 150 seats in that theater.
Yeah, I'm going to share this tab too. So I went a little earlier because I thought, well, it's a kids movie. Maybe the timing would be earlier. This is the 3:40 show, matinee show. And you can see again, we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seats total reserved out of that whole theater. So this movie's not going to do well.
I've got St. Charles.
Yeah, why don't you put St. Charles? Yeah.
So I looked at St. Charles. This is a St. Charles 10 at a 6:45 showing. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 seats in the St. Charles. And this is their super screen. This is their big theater.
And what time is that show?
6:45.
Good
So trying to
these are the sellout shows.
Is
That's
there,
what they should be.
is there an equivalent? I don't know if you know more about this from an industry since you've been in. What industry have you been in? TV? Yeah. Biblical.
The industry.
The King James industry.
Right, the original OG. Yeah. The original Latin.
The OG. Yeah. In music, people have talked about, I think Taylor Swift did this initially, helped break through. Didn't her dad or her parents buy a bunch of her albums or something?
Yeah, that's a common practice, yes.
Take us from the beginning and explain how that works. You got Taylor Swift coming on the scene.
Okay, she's a brand new artist. I don't know what year that would be, but she was very, very young. I don't even know if she was 16, 17 years
Curly
old, something
hair.
like that.
Curly long hair, acoustic guitar.
Trying to
really.
break into country music. And I think in Nashville. And she came on the scene. Her dad was wealthy enough that they were able to, I don't know how she got the attention of who she needed to, but she did. And they put out an album. Well, her dad went and bought, I don't know how many. It could be up to 1 million albums.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot of albums. They do this with books too, to book releases.
So they get on a list.
If you have a big enough name, and that's what's unique about Taylor Swift is at the time she didn't, and so she had a wealthy enough father who was able to buy enough of her albums. Pump those numbers.
I won't
up.
speak for either of you two. I'm not here to criticize Taylor Swift's success or say it's fake. She has certainly made her money many times over. But the way to, if you don't break through,
yeah, you got to break in.
Is there a way to do that with movies? Because I'm saying, like, if you look across the country right now and people are not going to see this movie, is there a way that Disney can manufacture success?
No, not really, because it just costs too much. Ticket sales for movies really do just go back to the producer of the movie. The way the theater makes money is on all the other stuff. All the food you buy.
Yeah.
So the vast majority of that ticket sale that you buy, that's going right back to the movie producer. So it's not really possible to do in movies because you'd have to buy so many seats. The only reason to do it is to generate buzz and to push it to tops of lists.
But that's what you're saying happens in music and in book industry.
Yeah, but it's cheaper to do it with books and music than it is to do with movies because the tickets cost too much. And you have to buy so many of them. It's all going back to you, but then your opening weekend is where you make money. So to make all of that in your opening weekend, you'd just be kind of cannibalizing yourself. It wouldn't make sense to do it in movies.
But what if it was tanking so bad you didn't want the bad press?
I guess you technically could invest some of your money back into ticket sales if you really were just trying to avoid a complete flop. But it's, as far as I know, it's not common practice to do it. It's possible, but with books and music, that's common. With movies, I don't hear about that. But this would be the example to have it happen.
I think that we should, if we can remember, in the 2 o'clock hour, at the end of the 2 o'clock hour, we should try to poke around and see if any of these that we've checked have. Maybe we just did the best advertisement for seeing Snow White tonight that one could possibly make. Free advertising. Go see this movie if you want to.
Do you have any desire to see the movie?
Zero. I'm mad at it. I'm not. And again, this goes back to things we've talked about before. Lightyear was that too. Mm-hmm. It was that they're doing the press junket for Lightyear, and Chris Evans, who voices Buzz Lightyear in that film, not Tim Allen, that's a whole different story. There's this like fleeting second where one of the characters in the movie has 2 moms, and they're going through their day and they kiss each other goodbye like a mom and dad. It's not a romantic scene at all. And Disney decided to go all in on that. I mean, I don't even think the scene lasts 2 seconds. I think that in a large part, it wouldn't have even, it might be something you might notice on like the 3rd or 4th time you watch it. But Disney decided to make the whole Lightyear movie about that. And Chris Evans was like, if you don't like that's, I don't remember the exact quote, but he's like, if you don't like that's in this movie, I don't want you to come see this movie. And so then it's like, now, first of all, you chose to put it in the movie. Avengers, I guess it's Endgame because it's after the snap happens. When they come at the beginning of Endgame, there's a therapy group sitting together, people talking, and there's a guy who refers to his boyfriend or his husband, and that's there. It's in there. You notice it. Well, guess what, folks? Gay people exist. They're everywhere, and you work with them. You're related to them. They're your family members. I mean, if you have a religious perspective on that, you're entitled to that, of course. We all have our own perspectives on these things, but to pretend like they don't exist is an entirely different situation. When you put it in your movie as a part of daily life versus when you say, like, that's what people know about the movie Lightyear. That's what they made it all about. And I'm not going to go see Lightyear. I'm not going to go see any movie when they make it all about these social justice types of crusades that I don't really send my kids to go watch animated movies like this to be a part of. Like, you don't get access to my kids for that. I'll take care of how we handle those types of topics in our house, and I think we do a good job of it. But like all of these social crusades that Disney is trying to put out there, and Disney's certainly not the only one, Snow White, that's all it's been the whole time. That's all it's been. So no, I hope it fails massively and you get back to making good movies.
Yeah, the biggest deal about that is that it's not just the stuff that you know about, the little people thing and the Rachel Zegler and all that stuff.
Magical creatures.
It's the whole plot of the film was altered to be less traditional. And if you don't like that, you go, well, I don't want to see that.
And Snow White, like, if you know about Disney, Snow White, you could make an argument that Snow White created what Disney is today. Yes, the animation behind Snow White is what opened the doors to everything that we've seen Disney do that has been magical. And Rachel Zegler's going to crap on that? Nope. Not with my dollar. Not at all. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
This is The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
RetirementKey.com. Go to the website for the Retirement Advisory Group and learn about the event. It's Tuesday, and there's a little bit of room left. I'd love to meet you. If they get full in one room, they sometimes are able to just get a bigger room. So hurry up and get in there at 314-993-9494. Very great to have Bob Kershaw in with us yesterday to talk about this event and let you know when you come to the free Protecting Your Retirement educational event, Tuesday, March 25th. Starts at 6:30 at the Frontenac Hilton. You are going to spend maybe 45 minutes of your time listening to how the Retirement Advisory Group takes you from your working years and goes through that transition into your retirement years. It's a very important time to make sure you make all of the right moves, and the Retirement Advisory Group is there focusing specifically on you. I show up at 6 o'clock and try to meet everybody in the room before 6:30, and I'd love to meet you. Reserve your spot, 314-993-9494. You can find them online at retirementkey.com.
The Budweiser First Pitch Breakfast, sponsored by Budweiser, is Thursday, March 27th, and features an unfiltered conversation with Cardinals Hall of Famer Vince Coleman. Your ticket includes a delicious breakfast buffet, bottomless mimosas, Bloody Marys, and an ice-cold Budweiser. Plus, you'll get 2 free tickets to Saturday's Cards-Twins game. Get 20% off your table now by using the code KMOX. Everything you need is at KMOX.com/events.
Mark Cox here. Get into the college basketball spirit this March by going to the Range St. Louis West. They have their basketball bonus promo all month long. 3 different baskets set up. You have a chance to get big discounts on firearms, suppressors, optics, and more, or win a free private lesson, a discounted membership, or gift cards. Play basketball and get a bonus when you score. Everybody gets 1 shot a day. Members get 2 shots. 14803 Manchester Road in Baldwin, TheRangeSTL.com.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com and join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, healthfromwithinstl.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Prices are going up in 2025 on HVAC equipment. Save now with 2024 pricing on a new system today. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com/new.
If you've listened to 97.1 FM Talk, you've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio every Saturday at 2, right here on 97.1 FM Talk, and you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP, member FINRA and SIPC.
Put on your dancing shoes and pick up your phones. It's time to make picks on March college basketball. And with Underdog Fantasy, you can bring that excitement to wherever you watch. Playing on their app is as easy as choosing higher or lower on a player's stat lines like points, assists, rebounds. If you're doing the NHL, it's goals. You get those picks right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. Millions of fans have already won billions on Underdog. Will you be next? Get in the game by signing up today for Underdog using the promo code MARKR. That will claim a gimme pick as part of your first cash entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus credits when you deposit. Cash in on every bucket this season with Underdog. The way to get started is to sign up for the app. Download it, get a username and a password, and then use that promo code MARKR because that's going to give you that gimme pick plus up to $1,000 in bonus credits when you make a deposit. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Void where prohibited. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Let's support Heroes Care through comedy. Annie Fry here. Join Heroes Care at the Westport Funny Bone Sunday, March 23rd for stand-up from St. Louis's own Will O'Donnell. That's Sunday, March 23rd. Learn more at 971talk.com/events.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Used to spend my nights out in the ballroom. Liquor was the only love I'd known. But you rescued me from reaching for the bottom and brought me back, being too far gone. You're as smooth.
Well, the Department of Education was basically shuttered yesterday. Donald Trump signs an executive order eliminating the Department of Education, and there are calls on the folks in Congress to quickly codify that into law. A lot of people quick to remind you that Jimmy Carter implemented the Department of Education by executive order, and then Congress then made it official. That's not that long ago.
No, that's not.
So people aren't handling it great. Some people aren't handling it great. I'm very interested to see what happens next with the restructuring, all of the things, and we're going to play a video for you here real quick from the 5 yesterday. All of the things that they're saying are going away. They're not going away. They're being handed to other places that can effectively manage what needs to be done for our children. They're going to the places where they can be handled, and they're not being swept away. And the people who are not explaining that, to me, it's like, if you don't like that Health and Human Services and RFK Jr. are going to oversee school lunches, then explain why you don't like that. If your response to shutting down the Department of Education is that Donald Trump doesn't want to feed children, you're a flaming liar, and I don't trust anything that you have to say because you're dishonest in your argument. Jessica Tarloff on the 5 making some of these points, and I'm going to let you listen to this, and I'll pop in and out of it, but Judge Janine says what needs to be said.
And when I hear Republicans out there talking about their plan for education in America, I don't hear them talking about making sure disabled kids have access to a public education. I don't hear them talking about impoverished kids.
Because we're against it.
I know you are. Thank you for admitting it on such a public forum. They want to end up privatizing it. They want a voucher system, which means that kids who can't get to those schools, don't have enough money to, or frankly want to go to public schools, won't have access. And they also have all of these religious kooks, like the superintendent of Oklahoma who wants to spend millions of dollars on Bibles for the schools, Trump Bibles.
Interruption. The Trump Bibles, does Donald Trump change scripture in those Bibles at all?
No, I think it's just a Bible.
That you get from Trump?
Yeah. Probably has some sort of
got
signature or
I think it
seal
has,
on or
like,
something.
the Constitution and some of the founding documents.
Oh, does it?
In it
I've always thought that the Trump Bible thing is kind of weird, but there's nothing about, I mean, if you don't like the Bible, just say you don't like the Bible. And the fact that Donald Trump, I still think that when he went out in front of that church when they were tearing up Lafayette Square and he held up the Bible, and I'm going to beat you to it, Scoot. I know he held it up upside down one time. It's still the Bible. And he was willing to do that in the face of utter petulant destruction from idiots who hate this country. This president isn't afraid of the Bible, and I love that about him. I'm neither here or there. If I were sitting in a room and we were taking a vote as to whether or not Trump should sell Bibles, I don't know that I'd vote in favor of it, but it's not sacrilegious when Donald Trump associates himself with the Bible.
Because it's all a grift. They want to make it private. They want to make them religious institutions. And that goes against what you're supposed to do.
Are there Christian schools that are better than the public schools? Yes. Mm-hmm. Are there non-Christian charter schools or private schools, maybe different religions or whatever, that offer an alternative and something better than the Christian schools in their community or than the public schools in their community? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of private schools that are not Christian schools. I don't know why people assume that you say private school. Oh, you must be talking about a Christian school.
Yeah.
There are a lot of private schools that are not Christian.
In America. So does it need reform? Does it need to be made better? 100%. But come on.
All the Democrat politicians,
let me tell you something.
send their kids to private schools.
I am going to tell you.
All
number
right,
one,
I'm ready.
Number one, we are one nation under God, and don't make a joke about that.
Do you think there should be Trump Bibles in public schools?
Number two is the issue that the Department of Education has wasted $100 billion a year.
Interrupting. Does that matter to these people?
No.
Like that part, like that is the initial point here. What Doge is doing, what Elon Musk is doing, all under the guise of the man who was elected to be president with the promise that he would do these things, is to find fraud, waste, and abuse and get rid of it. Jessica Tarloff casually at the end says that we need to do better at educating children, but that amount of money just completely and totally being wasted is a non-factor in their arguments.
Yes.
So cut the crap. You yourself admit they don't do any education. Now, you say that Trump is not dismantling. He's already dismantled with Doge. And let me make one thing also clear. Department of Education was created by an executive order by Jimmy Carter as a payback to the unions. Subsequently, Congress came in and created it. And we're going to end it the same way with an executive order dismantling it. Subsequently, finished by a decision by Congress. Now, let's be real clear. All of these issues, as it relates to Pell Grants, special needs, all that stuff is being moved to different departments within Washington. They are not being eliminated, and don't make it sound like these kids are being forgotten, because they're not. But if you want to talk about no child left behind, if that's what the Democrat liberals believe in, that screwed us up, screwed our kids more than anything, because no kid left behind made sure that every kid passed. And now we've got kids who can't even read at 8th grade level because they were passed. We have a 19-year-old who graduated with honors who can't read proficiently. All of this Democrat nonsense labelism is for the birds. And let me tell you one more thing. The Constitution does not guarantee an education. It is not a federal right. It is not a federal issue. It is something that, under the 10th Amendment to the Constitution, is left to the states. The state constitutions have provisions where you have a right to education. But this is something that is for parents and for educators, for teachers that we do love. We don't love Randy Weingarten and what she did to our kids when she couldn't find one metric in the billions of dollars that we gave her to open the schools to make it safe enough for her and her pals to go to open up those schools. You know what, Randy? Go back to Ukraine for the third time to try to figure out what they're doing in education. And let me tell you one more thing. I'm not done.
One more thing.
One more thing is these kids in China and in Russia that were studying quantum physics while our kids were hiding and doing drugs and alcohol, and the kids in Norway and Denmark and Sweden. We spend more money per kid than any country in the world, and we're losing because of the Democrats. And
there you have it.
All right.
I wanted to make points on it, and then I heard her say it. I'm like, I can't do it better than that. Judge Janine, take the floor. I appreciate so much getting to the root of the matter, which is the teachers' unions have gotten in bed with the politicians who have said, more money, more money, more money, more money. And the Democrats and the people who are funded by these teachers' unions never run out of your money. Never. And it's gotten so imbalanced, the amount of taxpayer dollars that get thrown at these different education situations all across the country. The money that gets thrown into all of it, you don't have any ROI on this. I mean, if it were any, it's your dollars. Their money is your money. Our money is not giving us an educated public. And when they realize that it's not, she is exactly right. When you go back to No Child Left Behind, they quit failing kids. You don't want a kid sitting in a 5th grade reading class when they're in 8th grade because it's embarrassing to them. They just scoot them along. That's not helping children. That's helping make sure the funding stays. And Trump is not there for that. And he's unafraid of the Jessica Tarloffs of the world who want to make, like, think of this for a second. Jessica Tarloff actually tried in that argument to boil the billions of dollars that go into funding the Department of Education, that the reason we shouldn't be talking about this is because some Oklahoma politician bought Trump Bibles.
Yeah.
That's the takeaway. If you listen to Jessica Tarloff, there are enough lefties out there that are going to listen to that, and I guarantee you if they're talking or chatting about this right now, they're talking about Trump Bibles in schools. And so you're telling me that Trump Bibles in schools in Oklahoma is enough reason to waste billions of dollars at the Department of Education. Not anymore. Those days are over.
You got a lot of disingenuous media personalities and influencers out there deliberately moving the goalposts on these things so that you will remember only, well, they're going to take away food. They're going to take away kids with disabilities funding. That's not even true, but it is being repeated over and over and over to the point that people that I know who are knowledgeable about these topics are like, are we sure? It's like, yes, we're sure. Trump has already addressed that.
And when you said the phrase moving the goalpost, this is such a basic, such a key when you're talking to somebody who's on the left and they hate Trump. Everything's driven by Trump. When they're trying to argue against something that Donald Trump and his administration is doing, and the first thing they do is move the goalposts, you've already won. You can score on the goalposts where they are. They got to do a switcheroo and sneak them away from you so that they can try to win on their own terms. Don't play the game. Don't go into the game where you try to, like, if you're trying to defend what Donald Trump is doing, if you think the education in the hands of the state legislators or the state leaders, the people who are much closer to you locally, if you think that's the way education should be handled, don't entertain even for a second a conversation about Trump Bibles. They can't beat you at what is actually being done, so they try to distract you. Every single time. It's a tell. It's an indication they've already lost. And I think Trump has won. But you're not the Be Next.
Like your love to get me high.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
AirComfortService.com if you are interested in making sure that the repairs that have been suggested to you at your place of business are accurate. Did you know that if you contact Air Comfort Service at 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, you are going to be connected to the ability to get a free second opinion on those repairs, because you want to make sure that you're not investing a bunch of money that you don't have to fix something that doesn't need fixing. Or maybe that you're going to invest a lot of money in something that's going to get fixed, but the problem is much bigger than that. You want to know the full picture, and you need to go with a business that is full of people you can trust. That's Air Comfort Service for us in our home. They do residential and commercial, of course. But when our furnace tapped out in the middle of Christmas break a few years ago, we reached out to them to make sure that we were getting options, that we could make a smart decision, and we were taken care of in exactly the same way that you will. You can trust the people at Air Comfort Service. I certainly do. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
Hi, everyone. Brian Kilmeade here with a great announcement, especially everybody here at KFTK. St. Louis, I'm coming to you March 22nd at the factory on stage. You're going to love this unscripted affair. It's going to be patriotic, inspirational, motivational. I'll go through all my books, give you the anecdotes inside Fox. We'll go over the news, the war on history, and the comeback of this guy, Donald Trump. Mark Reardon's going to join me on stage. Maybe some surprises in the lineup. But most of all, I want to see you. BrianKilmeade.com. Click on tickets. March 22nd at the factory.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
Today's YouTube live chat poll is, should Canada become a state? That's a yes or no. Let us know what you think. This is I'm interested to see the outcome of this one. Let us know what you think about, should Canada become a state. Also, a reminder, one more pair. Today is the last pair of tickets we are giving away for free to see Collective Soul and live on July 17th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. We're going to do that in the 1 o'clock hour, probably about an hour from now. So stay tuned. 12:48. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
97.1 FM Talk is proudly supporting the Guns N' Hoses Queen of Hearts raffle, benefiting the St. Louis Backstoppers. Learn more at stlgunsandhoses.com and listen to the Mark Cox Morning Show Fridays at 8:20 for winner announcements.
Do you have the time to listen to me whine?
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
I am one of those mellow are dramatic fools. Neurotic to the bone, no doubt about it. Sometimes I give myself the cringe.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins!
The Bee or Not the Bee.
A series of news stories as presented every Friday that are either fake or real. The B would be satire. The rest of them are real. I'm going to read the headlines. You got to tell me which is which. First one, Democrats say fire at Tesla facility likely caused by climate change.
B.
Let's go with the B.
Are you sure?
No.
You shouldn't be sure, but yes, it is the B. Shrouded in the thick black smoke of burning electric vehicles, Democrats issued remarks at a press conference to underscore the existential threat posed by climate change and the need to reduce carbon emissions. Quote, the Trump and Musk administration has done nothing to tackle the climate crisis, and now we're seeing the consequences, said Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. It is a sad day when climate change is so bad that it causes instantaneous combustion of a particular brand of vehicle. Curse you, Donald Trump, for bringing this upon us. Next one.
We haven't heard a lot about climate change. I mean, obviously, the Democrats aren't in control, but they don't seem as panicked about it right now. You want to talk about a grift. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, they're worried their money's going to be drying up toward it. Number two, the next headline is Trump agrees to give back Statue of Liberty in exchange for all the land in France we liberated in World War II.
I think that's possibly real. It's definitely a version of what is real.
Yeah.
So it sounds like something that the New York Times would write.
I think it's something that Trump could have tweeted, but I do think that this is a B article.
This is the B.
Oh, bummer.
Quote, it's a fantastic deal, said Trump. You can have your little statue back, and we'll just take whatever parts of France that we had to save for you. France can keep every square inch of land that you French didn't surrender to the Nazis. It's very generous, really a tremendous deal. French politicians have responded to Trump's offer with outrage, saying that the terms would leave them without any land whatsoever. All right, that did sound more. I thought that one was obvious, and then after reading it, I'm like, actually,
no, he would.
Could be something.
He would totally say that at the Resolute desk when he's doing his business, and the press is sitting in there.
It's so funny when you watch a press conference with him, because he'll just be going along talking about policy stuff, and he'll drop one of those lines, and you go, "Well, there's your headline for tomorrow," you know it.
While you're doing this, I'm going through on the live stream, theaters showings of Snow White. The Edwardsville Disney Snow White 10 p.m. showing tonight has 0 tickets sold.
Man.
Well, if you want a theater by yourself,
yeah,
there you go.
Just bring your iPad and watch a movie.
Watch a different movie.
Watch the real
original.
Snow White, yeah.
Just to compare. All right, next one. Period paintings make use of unusual material for art.
Oh, wait, what? Real.
Real.
Yeah, this is real.
What do you mean by period paintings?
It says that there's a picture in the article. It says Jasmine Alicia Carter paints exclusively in shades of red and brown, using blood from...
Gross!
I'll stop there. It says, but art can be a powerful means to confront and subvert stigma around menstruation. Art...
You know what the stigma is around it right now? Is that only women can do it.
Yeah.
And I have another thing, since you brought it up.
Yeah, I did.
You know what pisses me off the most about tampons in men's rooms?
No.
Up until recently, nobody was out fighting and demanding for tampons to be at the ready in women's restrooms.
Yeah, I guess not.
No, it's real. You can, as a female, you don't walk into any bathroom expecting there to be tampons at the ready. Now, they might have machines. Nobody stocks them, and nobody has quarters. There aren't tampons readily available in women's bathrooms. If you need a tampon today, you got to go to the men's room to get it. I, a menstruating woman, by God's great design,
Menstruating person.
Nope. Have to go to the boys' room if I need a tampon. That's messed up. back to be or not the be.
All right, be or not the be. I'm going to go ahead and get past that article.
You started it,
I
bro.
did. It's my
That's
fault.
on you.
That's a real article, though. They are making art out of that stuff. There's a lot of articles about that, too. CIA files reveal JFK was killed by seed oils.
Yikes. No.
That's the B. You are correct. When reached for comment, there they go. When reached for comment, Secretary of Health and Human Services.
Sorry, they're right next to one another.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was simultaneously relieved to know the truth and resolute in his mission. Quote, I will not rest until these seed oils are held accountable for what they've done, he said. Ever since I was a boy, I suspected that seed oils were behind my uncle's death. It's time for the truth to come out and for justice to be served. You tell the seed oils I'm coming and hell's coming with me.
And hell's coming with me. It's associated with a basketball team, and the coach sent out the beginning of the Hell's Coming With Me, a little line thing from Tombstone, maybe?
I don't know.
Yeah,
What is that?
Tombstone, yeah.
And my husband, I guess my son read that message that was sent in this group chat of this team, and my husband finished it was like, and hell's coming with me, and my son just like looked at him like, what is it? Are
You
you
can't
okay?
say that.
Yeah.
Dad.
And then he was like, no, it's from Tombstone. And then the father-son had to come together to watch this YouTube moment on Tombstone, and my son was like, that's awesome. He goes, can I reply back in the group chat with the rest of the phrase? And my husband was like, no. No, you can't.
One more. Netanyahu gifts John Fetterman with a silver pager.
Who? Netanyahu?
Netanyahu gifts John Fetterman with a silver pager.
What's a silver pager? Real.
Yeah, this is real.
It is real. Yeah, Senator John Fetterman and his wife, Giselle, are in Israel meeting with Netanyahu this week, who gave him a silver beeper or pager commemorating Israel's attack on Lebanon. Fetterman responded when the story broke. I was like, oh, yeah, I love it. I love it.
Real.
It's real.
Next question, ask us anything in the 1 o'clock hour. Get on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Should Canada become a state? Yes or no? Let us know.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I gotta fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're going to be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TRADE25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TRADE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TRADE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code TRADE25.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly. It's all through Medicaid, and as a St. Louis resident, it's 100% free to you. New to Medicaid, the Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the St. Louis area, this service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-697-4912. 314-697-4912. That's 314-697-4912.
The Budweiser First Pitch Breakfast, sponsored by Budweiser, is Thursday, March 27th, and features an unfiltered conversation with Cardinals Hall of Famer Vince Coleman. Your ticket includes a delicious breakfast buffet, bottomless mimosas, Bloody Marys, and an ice-cold Budweiser. Plus, you'll get 2 free tickets to Saturday's Cards-Twins game. Get 20% off your table now by using the code KMOX. Everything you need is at KMOX.com/events.
When a parent struggles with addiction or dies from a drug overdose, what happens to their children? Far too many end up in foster care, unable to ever return to their birth homes because it's simply not safe. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is fighting the clock so that teens don't age out of foster care, leaving them at a higher risk of addiction and other negative outcomes that can happen to a child without the love and stability of a permanent family. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Off in court. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Later this hour, a hearing before federal judge James Boasberg, who's been sparring with the Trump administration over the president's use of the Alien Enemies Act for deportation flights last weekend and the judge's orders since then for more information. The Justice Department has now invoked a state secrets privilege, allowing the government to withhold national security information.
The judge received this notice from the ICE official in Texas, and he wrote, quote, "This is woefully insufficient to begin. The government cannot proffer a regional ICE official to attest to cabinet-level discussions of the state secret privilege." A DOJ official telling Fox News the Department of Justice continues to believe that the court's superfluous questioning of sensitive national security information is inappropriate judicial overreach.
Fox's David Spudd at federal court in D.C., shifting responsibilities from the U.S. Education Department to other federal agencies.
A day after signing an executive order to dismantle the Department of Education, President Trump says federal student loans administered by the department will be transferred to the Small Business Administration, and programs for special education and nutrition will transfer to Health and Human Services.
So I think that'll work out very well. Those two elements will be taken out of the Department of Education.
President Trump says education should be run entirely by the states. Eliminating the cabinet-level department can only be done through congressional action. Republican lawmakers are introducing legislation to do that.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Top Democrats in Congress say the president's order will hurt children and families. The president taking questions as he announced that Boeing is being awarded the initial contract for the next generation of U.S. fighter jets, the F-47. London's Heathrow Airport plans to resume some flights today after an electrical substation fire shut it down, stranding hundreds of thousands of passengers around the world. The backup transformer also went down. America is listening to Fox News.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance, but Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Partly sunny skies, wind gust up to 40 miles per hour. Temperature 67, a lot of dust, smoke, pollen, and a high fire danger into the evening. Tonight, clear skies, evening temperatures drop into the 50s, 39 for the low. Saturday, sunny, 59. Sunday, morning showers, otherwise lots of clouds, and 65. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Budweiser First Pitch Breakfast, sponsored by Budweiser, is Thursday, March 27th, and features an unfiltered conversation with Cardinals Hall of Famer Vince Coleman. Your ticket includes a delicious breakfast buffet, bottomless mimosas, Bloody Marys, and an ice-cold Budweiser. Plus, you'll get 2 free tickets to Saturday's Cards-Twins game. Get 20% off your table now by using the code KMOX. Everything you need is at KMOX.com/events.
Imagine this, a summer evening, relaxing under a beautiful porch overhang, hosting your friends on a composite deck, or enjoying a bug-free breeze in a screened room. That sounds dreamy, right? Hi, it's Kim, and that dream can be your reality with Lakeside Renovation and Design because they specialize in creating outdoor spaces that make your backyard the go-to spot for family and friends. And with their attention to detail and the high-quality materials they use, you'll have a space that lasts for years. Visit lakesideRD.com today to get started on your outdoor oasis.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Brian Kilmeade here, and I'll be there on Saturday, March 22nd. Jot that down, at the factory in Chesterfield in this engaging motivational journey through America's past. Tickets available at 971talk.com/events.
Sponsored by Bob and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Moon wing of the Democratic Party is firmly in control. Now, that's great for the Republican Party, but it's bad for America. These people are deeply weird. For example, no honest person whose IQ is above his age doesn't believe that that biological sex doesn't exist, but they do. That's what I mean when I say they're deeply weird. Our Republican secret plan for dealing with the Democrats is called Operation Let Them Speak. But that's good for our party, but it's bad for America.
Senator Kennedy, Operation Let Them Speak, let them talk, let them cook, as they say. The Democrats have not figured out, we've talked about this, seems like a lot this week, haven't figured out a unifying message. They don't have a unification across their party. And I'm going to be honest, they don't really need to have that right now. They will soon. They will need to get their act together before the midterms happen if they hope to stop Donald Trump in his tracks at all. I remember being after Joe Biden won, I remember the Republicans kind of tugging and pulling at what direction that the party needed to go. And there were differing sides, and that this is the time for them to have it out as close to the election as they can, to have it out, to talk about their differences, and to figure out where the majority of their electorate actually is, and listen to them. I think that's the part they haven't quite figured out yet, is how to listen to the people who don't like Trump, but also don't like the Republican way of doing things. Is it the Chuck Schumer, as he told us on The View, that if you want a fighter for government, somebody who's going to protect government and make sure that it stays intact and is big and is strong, Chuck Schumer's your guy. I don't know that that's not the message of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I think maybe she would like I don't even know what she would want. It's just like far left progressivism. I mean, it's really socialism that they want to see this country headed. But for the Republicans who want to point at the Democrats and laugh because they're in disarray, this is when they're going to have to work through it, and it's going to be messy. And we just don't usually get to see the Democrats having to work through this. They're much better at keeping it behind closed doors in years past because Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi have been able to keep it behind closed doors. They're really old.
Yeah.
They are really out of touch with the younger part of their party that has years of experience now being in elected position, speaking for a generation that they're far removed from. So it's, I think, a very natural thing for the Democrats to go through this. They are going to evolve from it. The question will be, what is the message that they take out of it? But I think Senator Kennedy there is right. Let him speak.
Used to have somebody for the last 20 years-ish who would kind of corral at least the elected leaders. They might have differing opinions, but ultimately there was kind of somebody leading the charge. That would have been Nancy Pelosi, maybe Chuck Schumer on the Senate side, definitely Obama. That person just doesn't exist right now, and so it looks a lot more like a tantrum than it used to. It used to look like really righteous anger, despite whether you agree with it or not. It just doesn't look organized now.
Because they used to advocate for the little guy. They used to advocate for the blue-collar worker. They used to advocate for the middle-class American. Now they advocate against Trump. That's it. That's all they have.
Yeah, and they are picking issues over and over and over that even the moderate Democrats have to go, you know what, I'm not really even on board with that. You know, deporting illegal gang members isn't the issue that you're supposed to take a stand on. You might say, well, I don't like the process, but to make that big of a deal out of some of these things, they're just miscalculating.
Well, that's the thing I've been noticing is when the Trump administration picked their battles, they picked their battles with 80-20 issues. They said, hey, let's cut government.
80-20. Bingo card.
Yep.
I've heard people start saying 90-10 now.
90-10.
I'm like, okay. 91-9.
But, let's cut waste. Let's cut fraud out of the federal government. Let's reduce the size. That's something that everybody likes. And he got the Democrats to come out in opposition to it, not only in opposition to it, to file lawsuits to try to stop him from doing it. Trinidad Agua, whatever that is. TDA. Trying to get bad Venezuelan gang members out of the United States. Who are the Democrats going to court to defend right now? Venezuelan gang members. It's brilliant because they're starting the battle there. And then, to Senator Kennedy's point, you just let them talk. Do your thing. Defend those people. He got them to flip on a green EV company. And not only flip on it, actively destroying their property, private property of people who are actually on their side, because I'm certain there are more liberals that own Teslas than there are conservatives, and then going after dealerships and stuff like that. It's wild. It's brilliant. So yeah, let them do their thing. Let them talk.
A lot of the fallout from canceling the Department of Education, a lot of people, first of all, think that who was in charge of the Department of Education in Biden's administration? Who was that?
I don't remember.
Must not have done a good job. Let's blame Pete Buttigieg.
Okay.
Whoever it was. When you heard about education from the Biden administration, it was usually Randy Weingarten, who is the head of the union, one of the teachers' unions. But the idea that you have the people from the Department of Education actually spoon-feeding lunches to children across America that's not happening. It's not going to happen anymore because the Department of Education is gone, but it also never happened before. That's not how things were dispersed. Trump has spoken on the issue, and he has a plan for the services that had been supervised, managed, regulated, or provided by the Department of Education.
But the department's useful functions and such as, and they're in charge of them. Pell Grants, Title I funding, resources for children with disabilities and special needs will be preserved, fully preserved. They're all going to be. So if you look at the Pell Grants, supposed to be a very good program. Title I funding and resources for children with special disabilities and special needs, they're going to be preserved in full and redistributed to various other agencies and departments that will take very good care of them. And that's very important to Linda, I know, and it's very important to all of us. But beyond these core necessities, my administration will take all lawful steps to shut down the department. We're going to shut it down and shut it down as quickly as possible. It's doing us no good. We want to return our students to the states where just some of the governors here are so happy about this. They want education to come back to them, to come back to the states, and they're going to do a phenomenal job.
So he's listing off, Pell Grants is something I've heard people talking about here as well. Special needs, that's certainly, it's just very, it's gross. It's offensive to hear people on the left who know better pretend as though special needs education is going to no longer be met. The advocacy of that is using special needs kids for a political end. That's gross. It's disgusting. And here we are. These things are still intact and going to be overseen. They're going to be overseen by agencies that already have a toe, a foot, a head first dive into these areas. And the states are going to have more say over how education is handled. Now, if you're in the state of Illinois and you're looking at this past week thinking about how they've handled things, you might go, crap. Guess what? You can change your local government a lot faster with a lot more effect than you can change your federal government. You have the say in federal government in one representative, one senator, and they represent, the senator represents, of course, the entire state. When you have a House representative and you have a state senator, both in the state legislature, you know where their office is right now, and the farthest they're going to get from you is Springfield. Just yesterday, and this week, we've been able to witness people from all over the state of Illinois flood the rotunda at the Capitol to say, hell no, you're not going to regulate my homeschooling, my private school education, my children like this. You're not going to create laws that say that, if these regulations aren't met, or if they're, especially when it comes to truancy, folks, call your local school districts and ask how they handle truancy. It's a huge problem. They're not even allowed to enforce it in a lot of cases. Right on the other side of the river. They don't do anything, but they're going to show up on your homeschool porch to make sure that things are going the way they want them to. Get your own house in order before you start coming into the houses of homeschoolers. If you want to see, in effect, what local government has to face when people don't like what they're doing, are you going to send all those people into the Capitol in Washington, D.C. to affect this type of outcome? You have real, tangible ways of enforcing your thought, your opinion, and making it be known and heard in a way when it's local government that you cannot effectively do the same when it's your federal government. The federalism that is employed here benefits you at the most local level. Special needs still going to be met. Special education, Pell Grants, student loan supervision, school lunches. There is nobody who is not getting a school lunch provided today that was yesterday. That is not going to be taken away from anyone. That is not going to change at all. Breakfasts, lunches. I think, is it possible it's connected to SNAP? I don't know. But the free lunch program that was expanded to have a free breakfast program so that these kids get to eat, maybe those are the only 2 meals they eat a day, still happening. And the people who are trying to shove, faux hungry kids in front of your eyeballs and special need kids and saying they're not going to be educated anymore aren't paying attention to what's actually happening. And they're using those children because they hate Trump that much. What an existence. What a miserable existence that is.
I mean, you just summed up the border argument of the last 5 years, too. Beyond that.
Anything.
Yeah, really. Any
Democrat
you can apply
policy.
anything to it.
Folks, you got to open your eyes. You think do you really think Donald Trump doesn't care about hungry children. He cares more about hungry American children than any president that's probably been alive in my lifetime, because he's trying to make this country a prosperous one once again. When we're looking at Doge, when we're looking at USAID, when we're looking across the world about your taxpayer dollars that are just being shoveled out the window to help whatever cause it is that they can make look super rosy with a pretty red bow on top, and say, how could you stop doing that? Meanwhile, we have hungry kids. Meanwhile, we have homeless vets. Meanwhile, we have people who are out in the streets right now, coked out or drugged out or whatever. They need a massive amount of help. They need the assistance of their communities to make sure that the communities stay safe and that they can try to get back on some sort of independent way of living with the help of their community. All of these different needs that are right here in our own borders. That's America first. The money is being spent. You don't care about the money that's being shipped out of the country to help, Iranian children get Sesame Street, or Iraqi children, or whatever it was, condoms going to Mozambique or whatever it is. You care about that when that's the big headline, because you think it craps on Donald Trump. All you care about is Donald Trump. You care about Donald Trump in a way that no MAGA supporter could ever care about Donald Trump. You need Donald Trump more than any 3-time Donald Trump supporter and voter could ever need Donald Trump. You crave and obsess over Donald Trump more than any red hat that you walk into in Walmart could ever obsess over Donald Trump. You need him. You want him. You have to have him. And now you've got him. And you don't know what to do with it. You've got the car. I like it. I don't have anything else. That's pretty much it. I'm good for the day.
I was actually just timing that out to be like, that's about 3 or 4 promos right there. Probably get a lot out of that.
You should do it again, but in my voice, and then you could double it.
Okay. Or I'll add this to the end of it. Right there.
Yeah, okay. There you go. Well, we could play the music and go to a break.
We could. That would be one thing we could do. I have nothing to add either. It's just, you just look around and you go, man, I wish it weren't just
slow jam.
Look, let's get real for a second.
What is this?
Low by Cracker?
I wish I were crying about something. Pretend to be a sad Trump-hating liberal right now.
No.
Yeah,
I'm sad because of the I'm sad because of the monologue you just gave. I'm like, man, I wish that people could just step aside for a second.
What song is this?
Realize that things aren't as bad as they seem. I don't know. This is Low by Cracker? This is like a long intro that I've never heard
Can you
before.
take this off and do Get Low? Ethan, it's Friday, man. He's gone.
This isn't even that song. This is like a wrong file or something. He might have thought he was uploading Low by Cracker.
I've got Get Low by Lil Jon.
Do it.
All right,
let's shift gears here.
I
don't. Is this? We might need to go to a break fast. I hear these songs. I love them. They remind me of my youth, and I'm like, well, this is not for my children to hear. There you go.
Yeah.
Next question. Ask us anything when we come back. Now, this sounds like a Friday, doesn't it? We'll be right back. So, Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan. Hi, Stewie. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. Reach out to Stewie and ask him about your mortgage. If you've got one, you love your house, you're not moving, and your mortgage rate you maybe got in the last couple of years, and it's up there. It's pretty high. You want to drop it? If rates are down right now, you can refinance with a Bagel Loan, secure the lower rate, and pay no closing costs. Do you follow me? Why aren't you calling this number right here? 314-324-4440. Get yourself a lower rate. Take some equity out of your house and, rebuild the deck or finish the basement or pay off some high-interest credit card debt. Whatever you need to do, Stewie will listen to you, and he'll say, here's the best move for you. And the Bagel Loan, when you go through that, even if you're getting a new mortgage, if you're buying a new home, and you pay $0 in closing costs, you really can't beat that. The low rates are out there for you. Get it with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
Guys, it's time to take charge of your health with my friends at Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. I already love what they do at Victory. They do hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, even vitamin deficiencies. Now they're offering specialty cardiovascular testing and even early detection cancer screening. Visit them at one of their 4 great locations, now in Sunset Hills, Town and Country, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
Baseball is all about stepping up to the plate when it matters most. And when you've been injured, you need a heavy hitter in your corner. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, proud sponsor of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsLHonorFlight.org. And for HVAC services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Dwayne Patterson. If you're going to make the promise to do something, then keep your promise. Don't say, all will be told, tomorrow is Epstein Day and we're having a big grand release, and it's same bait and switch.
Weekdays from 3 to 6. This is the Annie Fry Show.
It's Thursday, and I'm thirsty.
Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Margaritas at the corner place. And on Wednesday, there's karaoke. Bet that metal bar stool's where I'll be. 'Cause I only drink on days that end in white. I'm always down for another round on any given night. Ain't gonna save it for the weekend. I'm jumping up the deep end. 7 days a week, I'm a good time. 'Cause I only drink on days that end in white.
Next question. It's a legitimate question. Next question.
Next question, please.
Next question on the Annie Fry Show.
So it's time to answer your questions here on the segment. Next question, we take whatever you want to know and we ask it and we try to do our best to answer it. Brad, why don't you go first this time?
All right, so follow me here. If you could take one politician just out of it and just remove them from their position, set them off to the side and out of everybody's memory and mind, which politician would it be?
What? Make a politician disappear?
Yeah,
Make a politician disappear.
Yeah.
And nobody ever could remember
Right,
them?
they don't remember them.
Nothing? Oh, man.
Just undo everything that they've done.
Who would you pick, Brad?
I've got J.B. Pritzker in mind. I think that guy has been just absolutely devastating for the state of Illinois, and if I could just pluck him out of there and never have had happen what he did and is doing to our state, I would be quite happy.
Does it have to be somebody current?
No.
Or just anybody
No,
ever?
you can go back through
Abraham
history.
Lincoln?
Oh, no, I'm going Benjamin Harrison.
Go on, tell us why.
I can't.
Because you've forgotten all about him.
Yeah, it worked. It worked.
It worked.
I would say, well, there's a couple of different options to this question because the first one that came to mind isn't a politician, but he's very political. And actually, I think he was a Clinton appointee for something.
Go for it.
But his name is Robert Reich.
Okay.
You probably have seen this guy online.
Mm-hmm.
He comes across with the air. He doesn't have that much authority, which is why I wouldn't pick him. But he comes across with this air of superior intellect about economics. But it is the most brain-dead, idiotic crap. It's like you went to a college class and everything you pictured them teaching every college kid in the last 2 decades is what it boils down to Robert Reich's economics. He's just awful. But he gives you just enough authority to feel like you understood why whatever current policy that Trump is doing is bad. That guy just drives me nuts.
I'd probably say AOC, and I don't even need to explain it.
Yeah.
Super annoying.
Yeah.
We have annoying people on our side, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But they're on my side, so I don't mind.
Yeah, you don't have... they can stick around for a little bit.
I don't like pay a lot of attention to him, but
Yeah.
she's just... I don't listen to anything she has to say. Her presentation is not for me. Goodbye. Next question.
What's your favorite board game ever? Either now or ever, that you ever really enjoyed?
Sorry.
You don't have to apologize.
I know.
Trouble. That's what you are.
Are you hitting on me? Sorry, no.
He's got game. What time is it?
I don't think he has game.
It's Wiggins time.
No, I love Sorry. And we take Sorry, and in Sorry there are 4 colors: red, green, yellow, blue. And so sometimes we'll play with 4 people in our family. But my husband and I, before kids, would play Sorry, and you have 2 colors. So you get opposing colors. So you have 8 pawns that you have to get home. And we deal out cards. Instead of drawing them, you get 5 cards, and you get to play cards that way. It's fun. It's really, we don't get mad at each other, but we are both very competitive.
I hate board games, but there's one board game that it's the only board game I've ever really had fun playing, and it was called Pandemic. And yeah,
not a game.
2020?
It was prior to, and so we haven't played it since.
You ever played Pit?
I don't think so.
They have there's not really a board, but I would still classify it as a board game. It's so fun. There's a bell, and it's supposed to simulate like the stock market. So if the 3 of us, let's get Ethan in here, and if the 4 of us are playing, you deal out maybe 7 cards. It might be less than that, but you deal out 7 cards, and like some of the cards say corn on them, some of it say wheat. There's all these different things. And what you have to do is try to get all your cards be the same. So I'll say, I've got 3, because maybe I have 3 corn cards in my hand, but I'm trying to get wheat, and I've got 4 wheat. So I'll say I've got 3, and I can exchange 3 of the same kind. And if you say you've got 3, then you and I just switch our cards real quick.
Okay.
But it's just a bunch of yelling. It's so funny.
There's nobody's taking turns. You
No.
just go.
No. It's like you deal out the cards. Everybody ready? Yes. And so everyone's like, I got 2, I got 1, and you have to obviously trade equal card numbers in the stack.
It's called Pit.
It's called Pit. And it's a 2-drink game, and you will have the best time of your life.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Has anybody ever played Scotland Yard board game?
No.
I have heard of that. I think my wife has played that.
It's a weird game that was an early adopters kind of like off the grid game that even the people who are really into board games now don't play it as much. I always had a lot of fun playing that, but my favorite one was Stratego.
Oh, Stratego.
Played that in high school a lot with a couple friends of mine. We just that was sometimes our weekends. We'd get together and just do Stratego and weird stuff, Nerf wars, stuff like that.
My question is, do you guys use pet names in your house?
Hun, maybe.
Really?
I don't know if I use a lot of them though.
I told you guys the inside scoop on my husband's pet name for me, which is Deer.
Oh yeah, it's.
And I've told him this, so I'm not telling stories out of school, so to speak. But when my husband says Deer, in my head, I think he's really just calling me the B word. Like if I'll be like, Jared, did you take the trash out? Because we're like in a hustle, we'd be like, I did, dear.
Do you know for sure that he's not using it that way? Did you ask him?
I told him and he laughed.
So he is.
He didn't say no. And I told my sister-in-law that. They live in Florida, and I was like, when my husband calls me, I think my husband's brother said dear in the same way, and I just said to her quietly, we were at my mother-in-law's house one time, I was like, when my husband says dear to me like that, I'm pretty sure he's calling me a witch. And she's like, I could totally see that. But it's like he doesn't call me any sort of pet names, but when he's like, I got it, dear, it's like, it doesn't seem affectionate.
It's punctuation.
Yeah, it's punctuation. That's exactly right. But other than that, we're not.
What about your kids? Do you use names for your kids? Nicknames or pet names?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I have different names for all of them. Jensen's Jenny Jo. I call Evelyn Evie G. Her middle name's Grace. Molly May.
Pet names for your pets too, right?
No, I call them John.
Both of them, even though that's not their name, that is a pet name.
I usually want them both, so it's just easier.
John.
Hey, John. Come on. Oh my gosh, I don't know who this is. But they said Jared equals Chief. I do not call Jared Chief, but we were at a Pizza Hut in Little Rock one time, and this male waiter didn't give anybody a nickname except for my husband, and the nickname was Chief. And we were all, I was looking at Jared like, and he's like, what? I was like, he's got a name for you, bud.
Do you remember, this was probably a year and a half ago, you were in you were in a Mexican restaurant, and I was not in that Mexican restaurant, but somebody I knew was in it, sitting right by you.
Yeah.
But you didn't know who they were, and so I was. They texted me, "Hey, I'm sitting right next to Annie Fry," and I was like,
Do
"Oh
I
yeah."
know this person?
No, you don't know them.
They just recognize
but they
me?
recognize you.
That's scary.
And so they texted me, "Hey, I'm sitting right next to Annie Fry."
And you
so
texted me like,
I started
"I see you,"
texting
or
you like,
something.
"I see you," and you're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, Jensen just got up to go to the bathroom."
This
or
was
something.
years ago.
yeah. I was not there, but I thought I said, "Keep telling me what she's doing, and I'll pretend like I'm watching her."
Do you know how creepy that is? Who was it? What's the first name of the person you were talking to?
I don't know if I should say. We'll say it's
Was it my
John.
dad? It was my dad, wasn't it? I was at Zapata's
you didn't
with
know
him.
it was him.
He's sitting right next to you.
Yeah.
He's like, let's screw with Annie again. You're like, okay, her.
Her. We're having a good time.
Pet names, Brad?
Not really. Sometimes whenever I'm messing with Terry, I'll call her Terrence because she doesn't have it. She doesn't have a full like Terry is her full name.
Uh-huh.
And so she get mad at me.
She
she'll be
has
like,
a full name, Brad.
It's just Terry.
She doesn't have
so
a
I call
full
her Terry
name.
by her full name.
You should
all
call
the
her
time.
Bradshaw.
But whenever she calls me Bradley, I have to respond with something, so I call her Terrence.
My kids
Does she
are.
like that?
Yeah, she laughs.
Okay.
Sonny is the bun. Sonny Bun. And then my son is Bub, but apparently a lot of people call their son Bub.
Yeah.
Because I hear that, people yell that at sports events and stuff. I'm like, hey, that's my son.
You say, hey, bub, and 7 kids
Yeah.
turn and go, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Bobo wants to know, who do you look up to?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Brad?
Gosh, I don't even know how to follow that. I was hoping I'd have more time to think of who it is. My dad. My dad is who I would have to say. He worked really hard, and he set an example of what hard work looks like to me. So,
You ever look up to someone who's younger than you?
I don't think so.
maybe.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I can't think of it.
I don't. Yeah, it's just like I know that I admire people that are younger than me.
I did think of somebody.
And
Ethan.
But it's weird.
Really
to,
respect him.
It's weird to think of it as looking up to them, but it's like having a great admiration and respect for people. So
I look up to my parents. My dad was in radio before I was. I think I looked up to him a lot because of that. Patient. He's incredibly patient. More patient than he really needs to be.
Well, fine. I'll say my dad too then.
I thought you were going to say my dad. I think you missed an opportunity there.
I should've.
I will also say that I look up to my husband because, people are all different we're all different kinds of people. I am super type A, hyper analytical, by default super uptight. By practice, I've tried to soften myself quite a bit to that. But he's just a really, really nice, kind person. And I can be that, but I have to work to be that. I have to think about it, and he just is default that. And I think that's incredible. So I'd say him as well. Next question.
Do you
have the time
to
listen to me whine? Do you?
I do not. Do you ever open your spouse's mail or packages? Do you think it's appropriate to?
I open everything.
Do you?
He would never do it. He doesn't. I hate the mail. We don't get the mail. When we drive by and the mailbox can't close anymore, we go get the mail if we notice it.
For me, if it's a letter or something with my wife's name, I'll open that because it's probably a bill or something that nobody cares about. But if it's a package, it's something she probably ordered, and she'll get mad at me because it's like she misses out on the opportunity to
for sure.
open the package.
If my husband had something shipped to him and it was to him, I wouldn't open it unless I was 100% certain I knew what it was, because he never orders anything. I
Yeah.
order everything, and he doesn't open my stuff.
And we've never had that conversation, but I realized the other day that we have this unspoken rule that if a package comes in the mail and it's got the other person's name on it, we won't touch it. We'll just leave it for that person.
Yeah. There's one time that I opened up, he got me a Mickey waffle maker. Make 6 Mickey waffles at a time. I love it. He got it for me but I think he had it when he bought it, he might have bought it on my account, so it came shipped to me, and I opened it and I was like, whoops. So for that particular reason, I would not want to open stuff just in case it was a surprise. Let it be the surprise that it needs to be.
Most of everything that we have shipped to us is in my wife's name anyway. Her name's on the Amazon Prime account, et cetera, et cetera. So generally I'll open anything that comes in unless we start getting close to like birthdays, anniversaries, or Christmas, and then I'll ask before I do it because I don't want to ruin any surprises.
Next question.
Okay. When was the last time you received a genuine compliment on your looks by somebody who isn't your spouse or relative?
Well, you must have something in mind.
So tell
here.
your story, Brad.
Go ahead.
Well, the reason I thought
I was at the gym.
No. The reason I thought about this was I got a haircut and the lady cutting my hair was complimenting my beard.
Oh, okay.
But when she did that, it stood out to me because I couldn't think of, prior to that, I couldn't think of the last time somebody did anything like that. And
But isn't it like when let's just be real, when we're old and married, why would people that aren't related to you be complimenting your looks?
I don't know. It just happens.
To you all the time. When was the last time you were flattered?
I really can't remember. I can't. There was something. There was something just last weekend that this dude stood up and I almost said out loud, "Man, you are ripped." But I didn't. I'm glad I didn't, because that would have been a little odd.
It, though.
But he would. I know he would have. I can't remember where we were. We were probably at one of the theme parks we were at last weekend. But this dude got up, and it was like I realized all of a sudden the guy sitting in front of me was 8 feet tall. This guy was a giant, and he was clearly at the gym right before that, because that dude was ripped.
People
Do
say.
you tell somebody that though? I mean, really? Do you ever?
There's a bro code there that I don't have any
I don't
part
know
of.
either. I don't know what it is. Do you tell a guy that?
Well, not like, dude, you are ripped.
That's what I would have done.
But it's okay to say something, but it's got to be the right way.
Okay.
What is the right way?
Yeah, what's the right way?
Man, you tell them you look like they're working hard at the gym, keep up the good work, that sort of thing. Encouragement rather than compliment, but then they know that you noticed, and it does mean something.
Don't you have to be in a position to encourage?
No.
I feel like anybody can compliment. I don't need somebody being like, and again, you guys are talking about dudes, so it's a whole different world. But if somebody came up to me and was like, "You look like you've been working really hard at the gym. Keep up the good work," I would be offended.
Really?
Oh, God, yes.
Huh.
This is why I don't compliment women.
That's a smart move.
I
make
just kind of
any
don't,
sense.
especially now. What do you need out of it?
Because every woman who hears that would be thinking about not muscles and building muscle, but losing weight. And if it's like, "Oh, I've noticed that this is what women hear. You used to be fatter. You better keep working."
Yeah.
There's still some work to do.
This is what women hear, but it isn't what's being said.
Which is why it shouldn't be.
So it doesn't get said.
So you don't walk past a woman and be like, "Loving that flat stomach there, June."
You know, if your name is June right now, you're either 92 or 5 because that was Grandma's name, and that's adorable.
So either way.
June is a great name.
Yep.
I'm trying to find this on X because people say some super weird things to me on X, and I would assume that the inclination to comment on a female's looks on social media might be a little bit more frequent. Does anyone ever comment on either of your looks on social media?
No.
Would you want them to?
I can't imagine it being positive. I mean,
what?
Who's going to look at a guy's picture who's 42 and be like,
well, that's the point.
"Hey,
That's what I'm saying,
this
though.
is all right."
Well, what if they're like 7 foot tall and ripped?
What?
And they told me I was having a good day at the gym? Maybe. You get comments a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm 50% plus nice comments. I can't find this one, and I wanted to read it verbatim so that I could.
So half of them are positive, and the other half are like, "What's up, dog pound?" I mean, are they negative?
Dog. Are you serious?
No, I'm not.
This one person, and I can't find it verbatim, I might find it later, said, I just told my husband that Annie has to have at least $20,000 of Botox in her face.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. And somebody just, this isn't anybody who, these are just randos.
I do not know. They got like 47 followers.
You have enough followers that you probably do have a lot of randos.
Is that an insult or a compliment? Because do you know how many days?
I guess it's $0.
$0. I have no work done on my face, and maybe we're getting to the time where maybe I should have a little something. I'm not like thinking about it. But if someone's like, she's got $20,000 of work done to her face,
that's probably a compliment. I think so.
I love that you're like, that's total flattery. I would take it as a compliment.
Yeah, I think I would. $20,000.
I mean, it's expensive work.
Does it depend on the dollar amount? But if it was, because if
I
it was
don't
like,
know. I've never had work done like that.
About 2G of Botox, it sounds like
from a back alley.
Yeah, like, but if it's a higher amount, you
right,
go. Oh,
you went
maybe.
to high quality doctor.
Right.
I don't know what that means.
How are you taking it?
I thought it was funny. I don't care what they think about my face. My face is my face. One day it'll be all wrinkly and squished and well-loved, and I have laugh lines, and that's because I laughed.
Yeah,
I don't
10
really
years,
care.
you look like Mickey Rooney. You just did this with your face. You just went like that. That's what I thought. I was Mickey Rooney.
Let's take a break. I got to kill Ryan. We'll be right back.
That's fair. That's fair.
This is The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
So Tami Dittamore and Zak are going to be in for X's and O's here in just about 20 minutes from now. So fun. These folks are great people, but they're experts, of course, at what they do. At the Dittamore Group, buying and listing and going through the whole real estate process with people who are experts, that takes a ton of relief into the whole process. It gives you peace of mind. They are the experts. They're the number one team and the number one office in the Metro East at the Dittamore Group. And you can call them at 618-531-4652. 618-531-4652. The Dittamore Group understands how to, maneuver in different markets in Missouri and Illinois alike when you are looking to buy or sell in a specific area, in the Edwardsville area, basically in the listening area right now, in O'Fallon, in the Missouri side. They know these communities really well, so they know how to position you for the best possible sale and to advocate for you for the best possible buy. Go with the experts for your real estate journey. 618-531-4652, thedittamoregroup.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid residents in need of care at home. If you need assistance with daily activities, you can receive in-home care from a loved one that lives with you and they get paid. Through Medicaid with no cost to you, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care at home in St. Louis and they get paid instantly. This is 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. It can be your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need and your caregiver gets paid instantly. Freedom Care has over 7,000 five-star Google reviews and is a leading choice in St. Louis for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's free to you through Medicaid, go to freedomcare.com or call 314-597-1749, 314-597-1749, 314-597-1749.
My name is Corporal Bradley Joseph Seitz.
Jerry Reed.
Kate Weber.
These are real veterans facing a real challenge.
I have PTSD.
And I have PTSD.
I have PTSD.
Post-traumatic stress disorder can happen to anyone,
I was still in a war zone in my mind.
but treatment can turn your life around.
Treatment has really saved my life.
To learn about PTSD and how treatment can help you, call your local VA medical center or visit ptsd.va.gov.
Call right now if you want to win Collective Soul and Live tickets. 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. The ninth caller will win a pair of tickets to the show, Collective Soul and Live, on July 17th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Good luck. It is 150. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
97.1 FM Talk presents Talk in Action, where we shine a spotlight on local charities making a difference in our community. Join us as we give back and connect neighbors in need. Visit 971talk.com/talkinaction to learn more. This is The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Brand new keys, I check my pockets. Final news in open boxes. How to clean out stain from carpet. Everybody smokes and steals from Target. Dog day afternoon.
Never heard that song before.
I don't know any of these songs.
Where is it coming from?
I like how on this show we're like, we don't know that song. Play Get Low. Play it again, Sam.
What was that? Have you ever heard that song?
It's called What a Coward by Phone Boy.
Ah, Phone Boy.
They're not even getting creative with their names anymore. What should we call him? I don't know. He's on the phone.
What do you like doing?
Come here, Phone Boy.
I like looking at apps. Okay, let's call it App Band.
I like looking at apps. There's Phone Boy and there's Apps Man. Are you an Apps Man? Yes, no? Don't answer that. I don't know.
I was trying to come up with a pun that would be the opposite.
No. No. Next question.
Next question.
Did you have one? You said you guys said you had one.
I can ask one. Are you better with names or faces?
More of an apps man. There it is. It would come along eventually.
I'd know her anywhere.
I remember her.
What about him?
No. No, I only notice when a dude's super ripped and giant.
Yeah. You guys spent most of the last segment talking about ripped dudes and nerding out on it.
Yeah.
Not names for me. Maybe faces, I guess. I'm just bad at all the short-term memory stuff.
What was the question again?
Are you better with names or faces?
Faces,
Faces.
for sure.
Yeah, same.
Isn't everybody, though?
Yeah, some people are really good with names.
That doesn't mean they're bad with faces. You know?
Yeah, but they might be better with names.
Maybe we should take these calls.
Did
What's
you
your
win?
favorite Collective Soul song, sir? Are you an Apps fan? Total Apps man. If your personality was a dog breed, what would you be? I feel like you got to know a lot about dog breeds.
Oh, this is a listener question? Yeah, I'm trying to picture it because I'm not a St. Bernard. I had one of those.
Okay, let's cross that one off the list. Now let's go with the rest of them.
Lhasa Apso.
That's what I was thinking.
Were you?
Yeah, or a Shih Tzu.
Yeah. Cross that with a poodle.
Shoodle. Brad?
Oh, man.
I hope Steve's not listening.
Yeah.
Nobody's listening.
If I had to guess, I would say I'd be mostly a bulldog. Just kind of.
Cross that with a Shih Tzu.
Yeah. I got one of those.
Do you?
Yeah, that's what my dog is.
Okay. I'd be a Australian Shepherd.
Okay.
Yeah. Loyal. Hardworking, but also into napping. And at least a part Australian. Not sure which part. Here's a good one from Andy. If you suddenly had to change your first name, what would you choose?
Probably something really cool.
I always really liked the name Julia and thought about naming our daughter. We've had 3 of them. Just thought about Julia as a first name. It's a pretty name.
Probably choose Dirk.
Dirk?
Yeah.
How would you spell it?
D-I-R-K.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel
What
like...
does Dirk give?
Tell you exactly what he gives. He gives air ammo through his finger guns to everybody he meets.
I feel like your microphone is quiet.
I do too. I don't know why.
And like it's just, your microphone's even not interested. Like maybe we should tone this down a little bit. Is there a way to solve this problem?
I don't know.
Brad?
We just speak directly into it, louder.
This one's
Dirk.
This one's difficult. Maybe Grant.
D-U-R-K.
Grant.
People online are trying to figure out how to spell Dirk in any other way. Grant?
Grant.
That's just a normal name.
Yeah.
It'd be like if I said Craig. I think
Why Grant? Why are you a Grant?
There was a kid who rode the bus whenever I was driving school buses, and he, had a lot of special issues and special needs, and he was just always a
And his
positive.
name wasn't Grant.
His name was Grant, and he was a very positive and happy kid.
That's a nice story.
Well, that was very sweet, Brad.
Yeah, let's go back to Phone Boy.
The music.
X's and O's next with the Dittamore Group. It's got to be better than this.
Hi, it's Mark Cox. If you're thinking about selling your home, I know you have a ton of questions. Fact is, selling your home in this real estate market isn't as easy as it used to be. Just look at the headlines. One small mistake can cost you thousands. So before you sell, take a few minutes and get to know Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, just like I have. She is St. Louis real estate expert. I've been telling you about Gloria for over 5 years now. She has written guarantees that'll give you certainty and the most money in today's uncertain market. And you're always in the driver's seat. You know exactly how much you'll make on the sale of your home from the very start. That's because Gloria will guarantee upfront and in writing to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or Gloria will buy it. Take it from me. Call Gloria today at 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Again, that's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour.
I gotta fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're gonna be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TRADE25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TRADE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TRADE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code TRADE25.
I am the place that won the World Series 11 times. They say St. Louis is a baseball town, but there's perhaps no better evidence of St. Louis's love of baseball than the St. Louis Cardinals, one of the most storied franchises in Major League Baseball. The Cardinals draw millions of fans every season and have won 11 World Series titles, second only to the New York Yankees. St. Louis is more fascinating than you realize, and the Missouri Historical Society is giving it a proper introduction. Learn more at wearestlouis.com.
There's nothing like it. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, and the timeless voice of Cardinals baseball.
A swing, and there's a high fly ball. That's hit the deep left field. It might go. It's a goner.
Now, you can experience every pitch, every play, every win in crystal clear FM sound.
Big fly, Alec Burleson.
Starting March 24th, tune in to 104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of the Cardinals, now stronger than ever.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app. Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Partly sunny skies, wind gust up to 40 miles per hour. Temperature 67, a lot of dust, smoke, pollen, and a high fire danger into the evening. Tonight, clear skies, evening temperatures drop into the 50s, 39 for the low. Saturday, sunny, 59. Sunday, morning showers, otherwise lots of clouds, and 65. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Venezuelans deported under the Alien Enemies Act argue there's no limit to who can be sent to a Salvadoran prison if the president can designate anyone as an enemy alien and the designation is not reviewable. The president says Elon Musk was not briefed on any war planning during a Pentagon meeting.
Billionaire Elon Musk met with the defense secretary and other Pentagon leaders as part of the administration's efforts to cut federal spending. But President Trump forcefully knocked down a report in the New York Times that Musk would be shown highly classified details about planning for a potential war with China.
He's finding tremendous waste, fraud, and abuse. But I certainly wouldn't want, Elon has businesses in China, and he would be susceptible perhaps to that.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says he welcomed Musk to the Pentagon to talk about efficiencies and innovations.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The power is back on at Europe's busiest airport, London's Heathrow, which was shut down when a large fire at an electrical substation knocked out power, disrupting global travel.
The incident led to the cancellation of over 1,300 flights, affecting and in some cases stranding more than 200,000 passengers. Many planes diverted, some simply sent back. There is currently no suspicion of foul play concerning that fire, but still no cause. The UK's Counterterrorism Command is leading the investigation due to, in the government's words, the impact on this critical piece of national infrastructure.
Fox's Greg Palcott at Heathrow, where some flights are now resuming. America is listening to Fox News.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance. But Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it! Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Partly sunny skies, wind gust up to 40 miles per hour. Temperature 67, a lot of dust, smoke, pollen, and a high fire danger into the evening. Tonight, clear skies, evening temperatures drop into the 50s, 39 for the low. Saturday, sunny, 59. Sunday, morning showers, otherwise lots of clouds, and 65. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Teachers shape the future. Right now, in a classroom somewhere in the United States, there's a teacher inspiring a future scientist who'll make preventing pandemics their life's work, sharpening the mind of an aspiring environmentalist who'll help combat climate change, and generating possibilities for a student who'll be the first in their family to graduate college. Explore a career that leaves a legacy you can be proud of. Teach. Learn more and receive free support at teach.org.
Choose Syntec Full Synthetic Motor Oil, formulated for today's engines only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic or a MicroGuard Select filter for just $32.99 in-store only. Limits apply. Learn more at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Want immediate cash for your home or see what your home is really worth in today's market? Find out for free from the local experts. My friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. 314-336-1991. Check out thegelmanteam.com today. That's thegelmanteam.com.
97.1 FM Talk presents Talk in Action, where we shine a spotlight on local charities making a difference in our community. Join us as we give back and connect neighbors in need. Visit 971talk.com/talkinaction to learn more.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
They got someone here knows what they're talking about.
Left up, left right, gotta love this American ride.
Like, you need to take some time to get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Well, the Ryan Wiggins version of the intro means it's 2:07 on a Friday, and we're very grateful for you to be here. And it's an X's and O's days, which is exciting. The first time we've had my friends from the Dittamore Group in studio with us. Tami, hello. Thank you for being in here with us today.
Thanks for having us.
We're going to get you right up on the microphone. And Zak, so good to have you back. You and I have met before, of course. I've promised great fun things from the two of you.
Yeah.
Are you up for it?
Yes, ma'am. We hope so. We're pretty competitive.
So the Dittamore Group, we're excited to have you on. Your experience of buying and selling, 50 plus years of experience of selling real estate, the number one office in the number one team in the number one office in the Metro East. You guys have a lot of success, a lot of knowledge, a lot to offer people who are looking at buying and selling right now. So Tami, I'm going to ask you before we get to X's and O's here, the market, everybody's always like, what's the market like? And it's usually what I think it's going to be like. I talk to someone like you and you're like, well, actually, what is it like right now?
The market is getting very, very busy right now. Inventory's still a little low for our liking. It's still pretty competitive. It's hard for buyers. The interest rates have come down a little bit. They're between like 6 and a mid 6 to high 6s, depending on your credit score, obviously. But I do feel like we're going in the right direction for sure.
What's the average if somebody reaches out to you, Zach? I'll ask you this question too, and Tami, you can weigh in certainly if you want to. But when somebody is looking to list, what's the minimum amount of time it takes to get a house on the market? If someone's like just found out maybe they got a new job, they got to get the heck out. They want to list as fast as possible.
So unfortunately, every seller is different depending on what the condition of the house is. We like to do pre-walkthroughs to kind of give people tips and tricks to get their house ready for photos. So depending on what your situation is, our turnaround response is pretty quick. That it can be anywhere between 2 to 3 days before we could have that house ready to go.
That's really fast.
Yeah, if the house is in good shape, I'd say like 48 hours. We're good to go.
We move quick.
Yeah, and then also on the other hand, a lot of people are, if they've ever thought about moving, if they've thought about listing their house, they're probably waiting for more inventory to be on the market, maybe waiting for interest rates to go down. So it's kind of like everybody's waiting to jump in that revolving door to get everything going. If somebody is looking to list maybe in the future, but they don't really have a specific timeline, do you take those phone calls, Tami?
Oh yeah. We work with sellers sometimes for a year or two before they're ready to go. And
you're cool with that?
Oh, we are, because I just feel like I've been in that situation myself, and sometimes we just work at their own at our sellers' pace. So we don't want to, because it's stressful. It depends on a lot of things. So we're patient.
Seems like real estate can certainly be a hurry up and wait type of an environment, because you might not think that you're interested in listing right away, but then all of a sudden, for whatever particular reason, that perfect house falls out of the sky and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to buy that house, but I need to sell this house. And so then all of a sudden it's like, we were thinking we were waiting 6 months, 10 months, but all of a sudden we want to do it right now. I mean, Zach, that's got to be kind of exciting to be a part of.
So this happens almost daily in our market these days. That good house pops up. You don't have much time to kind of prepare. We got to get you in there ASAP and kind of get a game plan locked and ready to go.
So Zach, with inventory, I know that for a while there, I don't know if it was in the heart of COVID or maybe come towards the end of the total shutdown, people were selling their house well over asking price, sight unseen. That's crazy time. Are those days over?
Unfortunately, they're not. So we still see a lot in this market with the buyers because inventory is so low, especially here in the city. When that new listing pops up, you still see people waive their appraisals. They waive their home inspections. There's still 20 offers coming on houses well over asking. So it can be difficult for a buyer to find something. So that's why we desperately need more inventory in this area.
So Tami, if you're thinking even a smidgen contemplating and you're just like, what would I be looking at here?
Well, for buyers, if you're just a buyer and you're waiting for those rates to go down, don't wait, because you always have the benefit of refinancing down the road. And the money, it's cheaper to buy than it is rent. Rent has gone up so much. It is just it's just better to buy. And
Our motto is marry the house, date the rate. So as the market continues to get stronger and stronger, that's all it's going to do is prices are going to go up. So buy that house now, refinance that house later.
I think the most important part, though, is to just the conversation. When you call the Dittamore Group, it doesn't cost you anything to call them. It doesn't cost you anything to have a conversation. So if you reach out to 618-531-4652, the 618-531-4652, and you talk to Tami or Zach or Pat or Abby or Trisha, the team that you guys have at the Dittamore Group, you get information that makes you go, I think maybe it's time. Maybe we'll wait a little bit. Maybe we'll wait 3 months instead of 10 months. Or maybe you're like, did you hear what they just said? We got to sell our house yesterday. And then you work with the Dittamore Group to get that done.
Right. And it's really important, too, is people sometimes need to know that a lot of sellers out there aren't taking contingent offers. So getting your house going, if you need to do that, they'll take a contingency if it's already under contract. But if you don't even have your house on the market, you're going to lose that opportunity on a house that you really want.
Yeah. Well, go to the DittamoreGroup.com if you want more information from our friends and partners here on this show. I highly encourage you to work with them. They're great people. That absolutely matters, but they're very, very excellent at what they do. And when you're going through a real estate transaction, that is the time to pick people who are fantastic at their job. You have friends, you have family that might be in the business of doing this. That's great. You can't afford to not go with the very best, and the very best is at the Dittamore Group, both sides of the river as well. You guys ready to play X's and O's?
Thank you. We hope so.
Yeah.
We're going to try.
I want to take her down.
All right, the gloves are off officially. Well, let's get to it. The Dittamore Group in here, our guest for X's and O's, and I get to turn it over to Ryan because this is his dumpster fire. Go ahead, Ryan.
All right, here we go. We're going to have a drumming sound effect to make you feel nervous.
Thanks.
You're welcome. And that's to increase the intensity because this is a battle. I think you've already gathered that, though.
Yes.
So this is a game we play on Fridays with folks such as yourself called X's and O's. You have a tic-tac-toe board up on the board behind you, numbered 1 through 9. And so your job will just be to pick each square by its number, and then you pick either Brad or Annie, and there's a corresponding question with each square. I'll ask that question. Brad or Annie, whoever you select, will answer that question. You will simply agree or disagree for the square. If you agree, you get it right, it's yours. If you get it wrong, it's your opponent's square.
Okay.
If we play all 9, so even if you get a tic-tac-toe, we keep playing, and we fill out the whole board to see who wins.
Okay.
Okay.
Tami or Zach, who's going first?
Ladies.
Ladies first. Okay. Tami.
All right, Tami, the board is wide open, so pick wherever you'd like.
Okay.
Oh, not yet.
You got to earn the
Yeah,
square.
you got to
first.
earn the square.
Oh.
I like your confidence though.
Yeah.
Which number? 5? Were you going for 5?
Yes.
And you want Brad or do you want me?
I'm going to go with you.
Okay.
Okay, middle square, number 5, Annie.
Yes.
On Wednesday, we got all hot and bothered by the saxophone.
We.
And by the way,
You.
Dittamores, these are all questions about things we've talked about or done during the week.
In theory.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Sort
And
of.
Ryan is
Right.
Yeah.
Loosely interpreted.
I play by that loosely. Especially when Bill Clinton played it on the Arsenio Hall show in June of 1992. Name either of the main 2 late-night show hosts up against Arsenio Hall in June of 1992.
Either of them?
Either of the main 2 other late-night show hosts.
I think David Letterman, maybe? 1992. I would think it'd be Jay Leno and David Letterman, but I feel more confident with David Letterman.
Way to keep it current.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to agree.
She said agree question mark.
You're going to agree that is correct.
Yay!
David Letterman is the safe one of the 2. The other one was Leno, but Carson had just retired the month before that.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, so that was pretty close. All right.
All right, Tami.
Big OX.
There you go.
Good
Big
job.
old X
Big
in the middle
old
for
X.
Tami.
All right, Zach, your turn.
Your square?
Number 1.
Top left.
Number 1, and who would you like to answer?
Annie or Brad?
Brad.
All right, let's go.
All
You
right,
said that with confidence as well.
Zach and Brad, you have
see if it
gotten
lasts.
our audio whoopee. This seems like it's going to be a little bit of an easier question.
It's always funny to get
considering-
this point in the game where the contestants are like, what am I getting myself into here? Whoopee!
All right, number 1. This is Trump speaking to Laura Ingraham, showing a new item in the Oval Office.
They said we have to do something like drapes or something because the light eventually affects it. And it's very cool. Oh my gosh. Isn't that great? Just went up yesterday.
Brad, what was he showing her?
I can't unsee the meme that we talked about today.
Yeah.
But you want the original.
What was he actually showing?
What was he actually showing? Okay.
Not digitally altered.
It was the Declaration of Independence.
Agree or disagree?
I will agree.
Zach, you are correct. And Brad, you are correct as well.
All right.
All right.
1-0. Top left.
When I wrote that one, I did not know we were going to start the show with
a
an
meme.
entire segment about it.
The meme
All
is
right.
funny.
Tammy, back to you.
Okay. And I have to pick my square?
You have to pick your square.
I'm going to go with 4.
Number 4.
Middle left.
And who's answering that for you?
Brad or Annie, either one.
I'm going to go with Brad.
Okay.
I try to keep it
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
fair.
Well, you guys got our second audio whoopee of the day. Whoopee. All right, Chuck Schumer got played off of The View going into a break.
And you know what their attitude is? I made my money all by myself. How dare your government take my money from me? I don't want to pay taxes. Or, I built my company with my bare hands. How dare your government tell me how I should treat my customers, my the land and water that I own, or my employees? They hate government. Government's a barrier to people, a barrier to stop them from doing things. They want to destroy it. We are not letting them do it, and we're united.
Okay, good.
Okay, Chuck, let's get you out of here.
Joy Behar goes, okay.
Okay. They're playing him off. Speaking of which, another current event, which actor got played off of the stage at the Oscars just a couple weeks ago after winning the award for Best Actor in The Brutalist, but refused to leave, even telling the orchestra to stop because he was going to keep talking regardless.
So you're asking me
About the Oscars.
about the
that happened
Oscars because you
weeks
linked
ago.
that to Chuck Schumer.
That's right.
Thanks,
That's right.
Ryan.
That's right. That's the way this game is played.
Jeez, I don't watch the Oscars. I'm going to do my best and just take a guess here. Adrian Brody.
No offense, I'm going to disagree.
Okay, no, none taken.
Yeah, none taken except that Brad randomly guessed right.
Oh my god.
Are you serious?
Yes, he did. Brad guessed
Brad!
right.
I was going by your
Yes.
not confident face.
It wasn't sabotage. It wasn't sabotage. I didn't know.
Amazing.
That's all he does is watch reruns of the Oscars.
Apparently.
You get
Wow.
it. You get it.
Number
Zach gets
4
it.
goes to Zach.
Zach's got a big smile on his face.
Sam, one more. I'll do number 7.
Number 7.
Of course he will.
Bottom left.
That makes a lot of sense.
I'm
All
never
right.
going to hear the end of this.
Who's gonna?
Let's go with Annie.
Okay.
Who's gonna answer? Okay, Annie is gonna answer. Annie, you have stumbled into.
Tammy's giving me a very pointed finger. Okay.
Okay, you have stumbled into AI. Now, if you've never heard this kind of question before, this is a real clip from the week, but we have run it through AI. So
Adrian
it's
Brody.
not going to sound like Adrian Brody.
As
but
if I know what that sounds like.
Tell me, who said this?
If you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off and take a just telling you.
It came out a little weird, but
It's sometimes it's hard to tell them apart. That's not Snoop Dogg. That's Tim Walz.
ooh.
Sorry, Tammy. She's looking at me.
You sure she's not
Adrian
bluffing you?
Adrian
She
Blo-
seems
Brody.
confident.
Are you
so I'll
sure
go with
she's
her.
not
So did
bluffing?
I
Brad.
hope not.
So did Brad. He seemed pretty confident, and he didn't know what he was talking about.
Okay, Zach is going to say that he agrees with Annie. Here is who really said that.
If you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, and take out. Just telling you.
Zach.
You got it. You got it.
Congratulations.
Now you got the first
not
tic
over.
tac toe.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
get
That's
another
all that
one.
matters. I came in first.
You got the first one.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so you got the first
isn't
tic tac
good for
toe.
me.
Now this goes back to Tammy, who can try to tie the game with another tic tac toe of her own.
Okay.
Okay. Which square do you want?
I'm going with 8.
Bottom middle.
Number 8. Okay, who's answering that for you?
Annie?
Yes.
She's never picking me.
No. That's not true, Brad.
Annie, these are tough. I got to tell you, this has been a little bit of a tough week. This is a guest quote.
This is a guest quote.
Wow.
All right.
That go.
This is a real quote from the week. I'm just going to read it. You got to tell me who said this. So, if unelected staff were making decisions on the president's behalf, then those decisions lack any legal validity, so that no pardon was actually issued. This is a tough topic because we talked about it with a couple different people.
Say it again.
So if unelected staff were making decisions on the president's behalf, then those decisions lack any legal validity, so that no pardon was actually issued.
Attorney General Andrew Bailey.
I agree.
Yeah.
Correct.
Man, I was
Correct.
like Hans von Spakovsky, Will Chamberlain.
That's
Hans
exactly
von
right.
Spakovsky, Will Chamberlain. Andrew Bailey.
Andrew Bailey. Yes. Because it could have been all three of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice get. I thought that was going to be tough.
Well, I did the interview.
Well, yeah, but you
I was
remember
there.
every word they say, apparently.
I heard that one, so I was pretty
Oh,
confident.
perfect.
Oh, good.
There you go.
Good. All right, Zach.
Number 2.
A lot on the line.
Top middle.
All right, number 2, and who's answering for you?
Let's go, Brad.
Okay. Brad, this question has a soundtrack to it.
Oh my gosh. Ethan.
On Monday, our hard news coverage was buoyed by Ethan's choice of this song as bump music. It's Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On, which came out in what year?
Jeez. Yeah, no kidding. I agree.
I told you, this is a hard week.
Who was the Oscar winner? And so now I got to guess a random year. So I'm just going to guess 1994.
1994, okay. Zach?
I should have went with Annie on this one.
Mm.
So I'm gonna say that's wrong.
You're
He's
gonna say that's
really good
wrong.
at guessing accidentally right.
Well, I feel like it's earlier in life than that.
All right.
But I have no idea.
Zach, you are correct.
1996.
97.
97?
97.
Also, that wasn't the song that was played on the show.
What
so
was
you were
it?
incorrect about that.
What song do we play on the show?
It wasn't that one.
My Heart Will Go On?
It was absolutely not that one.
Ooh, now I'm interested.
Yeah, so if I were Tammy, I'd file a grievance over the factual
Well,
basis.
I think that's a great idea.
Of the
Okay,
actual
square's
show.
yours.
Yeah.
And we're all tied up. Great move on you guys.
I've got the song right. There's one brain cell in between the song and my ability to. But I will tell you.
Ooh, okay.
It's all coming back to me now. I think that's literally the name of the song.
Is it?
I think it's all coming back to me now.
Now I really want to know because
I'm pretty sure it's all coming back to me now.
Well,
I'm pretty sure it's all.
regardless.
Anywho.
She wanted
Oh yeah,
you
the
to sing it.
asterisk is on the board. All right, Tammy, you're square.
Okay, back to Tammy.
What are my choices? I'm going with 3.
That's a smart move.
3. Who's answering?
I'm gonna go with Annie again. No offense, Brad.
She was very excited for 3.
Yeah.
Told ya.
Yeah. Let's get a block.
Annie, you have stumbled into AI.
Okay.
Again, this is a real clip from the week run through AI. Tell me who said this.
He's welcoming Russia to take over. He's welcomed them to grab a big piece of Ukraine. God knows what's next. And the problem he has with this guy is nothing's compared to Hitler. Nobody compares anybody to Hitler. But the fact is, Putin is not accepting it.
Is this a clip that we played?
This is a clip that we played.
You're certain we
So
played
it's-
it?
Yes.
Play it again. See him.
One more time.
He's welcoming Russia to take over. He's welcomed them to grab a big piece of Ukraine. God knows what's next. And the problem he has with this guy is nothing's compared to Hitler. Nobody compares anybody to Hitler. But the fact is, Putin is not accepting it.
I played it at the beginning of the Jim Talon interview, and I don't remember who said it. Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
I disagree.
That is a good move. You are correct. It was.
He's welcoming Russia to take over.
Chris Matthews,
He's
yes,
welcoming them
yes,
to grab a big
yes,
piece
yes,
of
yes.
Ukraine.
I never
God
would've
knows
come
what's
up with
next.
that.
And the problem he has with this guy is,
For the block.
is that nothing's compared to Hitler. Nobody compares anybody to Hitler. But the fact is that Putin is not accepting it.
If nobody's comparing it, why are you bringing it up?
I know. It was a weird clip.
Nobody asked.
Nobody's saying anything about Hitler. Nobody ever says anything about Hitler. And we're not either.
All right,
It seems
Zach.
like Annie gave that question to you, Big Tam.
I did.
I'm going to go with
I did. It's
I
from
feel-
the-
number 6.
I disagree.
Say Big Tam.
On air. I'm sorry.
That's awesome.
Number 6 for Zach. All right, number 6.
Big Tam.
Let's go, Annie.
She is not bigger than you are. She's
I've known
tiny.
that since high school.
That's great. Big Tam.
Who are you going to choose,
I'll
Annie
go
or
with
Brad? Annie again? Do you still have?
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is the
good.
fifth one.
Okay,
Don't
all right.
act surprised that they would want to choose me.
I'm not. Ready? Here we go. The lower courts are blocking President Trump at every turn, issuing national injunctions against the president's every move. This happens to every president to a degree, but compared to Obama and Biden, Trump has had 5 times the injunctions that either of those presidents have had. The question is, in which term has Trump had more injunctions placed against him, his first or his second term?
Ooh, this is hard to throw. First.
First term.
I don't know exactly.
It's a 50-50 chance.
It's 50-50.
So I'll take her word for it.
I think, can I just lay out here, the thought is there have been, I think it's like 14 and 15, maybe, first term, second term. But Ryan would ask this question because he thinks that people would say second term because that would be the shocking thing. So he would ask the question in a way that wouldn't be the shocking answer, and it would be first term. Are you agreeing or disagreeing?
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you.
Okay. Well, both of you have reasoned through my psychology perfectly.
Wow. That's how you take tests, folks.
Yes. No, it was actually...
Gotta know the teacher.
It was... Obama and Biden had about 13 or 14 each.
Mm-hmm.
Trump's first term had 64, and he's already got 15 in 2 months.
15. I knew there was a 14 or a 15 number in there
Yes.
somewhere.
Amazing.
All right, Drew. You got lucky there.
All right. We're back. Is it Tami?
Yes.
Okay.
Zach has 1 tic-tac-toe and 4 squares, 4.5 squares.
No, this is an X for sure.
And Tammy, Big Tam here has...
Yeah. Never.
You're in trouble.
You know how that started?
How'd that
In
start?
school, they didn't want to say Mr. or Mrs.
Uh-huh.
So they would call us Big.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's stuck. So I've been Big Tam all my life.
That's great. If you're happy with it, there's no reason not to be.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right. So, Tami, this is a great one to end on.
And then you have to pick Brad?
Yeah, I guess so. Gotta pick Brad?
I was picking Brad anyway. All right, let's go.
Okay. Great. All right. Well, Brad, this week, Brian Kilmeade publicly invited/challenged Annie to come up on stage with him on Saturday for a skit.
Skit! A skit.
And this is what it sounded like.
Oh, boy.
But with a couple of bleeped words in it.
I think you are, because we're not looking for great actors.
Well, then I'm
We're looking
hearing
for people that care about and want to have. But I would just feel really bad if we did the whole show and you thought Brian didn't ask.
Okay.
I am officially asking. You have to reject me.
Okay, so that was the sound, and 2 words are bleeped out. Those are 2 words that he described as people who really want to come see at his show. What do they want to see? Do you want to hear it again?
What's he say? They care about...
They care about blank and blank.
They care about history, and they want to have fun.
I was going to say you only had to get 1 word of the 2.
That's. Yeah.
What if one of those is right?
So we
and what
get
if it's
double
wrong?
points if he gets them both.
Yeah, you get to take one of Zach's squares.
Yeah, you get to take one of Zach's.
Zach's gonna mutiny.
I love it. Okay.
After a grievance,
I
about this?
agree.
Yeah, it's such a rare instance in which this happens, especially right at the end
totally
of
out
the,
of
of the
control.
show, that we have to say, yes, if he gets both of them, and you agree.
I agree.
That you get to take one of the squares.
Yes.
I hope I'm not overconfident on this.
And so here,
I would file an
you
injunction
said
there,
history and fun. Here is the answer.
I think you are, because we're not looking for great actors.
Well, then I'm
We're looking for
hearing it.
people that care about history and want to have fun.
Whoa!
But I would just feel really bad if we did the whole
Look at
show.
that face on
Brian
Zach right
did
now.
that.
He is.
Wow.
This is the first time we've had 2 squares in question at the end of the game.
That's incredible. The way
Both in my
Tami,
favor. I kind of like it. Yeah.
the way Tami just won that game.
Yeah.
I've never seen it before.
No.
It's almost like we had to bend the rules.
Well,
But we didn't. That's just what the way always are.
I
Zach?
still would have had 5 X's versus 4 zeros. So, you know. O's.
Working
yes,
with your mom
yes.
is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You are doing a great job. We appreciate it. Well, thank you both for coming in here. Please come back again.
It was fun.
You guys got some exciting events I know that you do throughout the year, and we want to get you back in here to talk about them.
Yeah.
But if you're looking to buy, if you're looking to sell, and you can hear me on the radio right now, the Dittamore Group can help you with that. They are wonderful, they are kind, they are excellent, and they are at thedittamore.com. Anything else to add?
We promised to have a little fun along the way.
Yeah, you absolutely will. Good people at the Dittamore Group. Please give them your business if you're looking to participate in a real estate transaction. TheDittamoreGroup.com. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
Hey, Jimmy Fallon here with a quick listening tip for you. If you miss Fox Across America or any of your other Fox News favorites, do not worry. I got you covered. You can stream previously aired shows with Rewind, available exclusively on the free Odyssey app. So if you're busy work days, it doesn't mean you have to miss out on the news. Listen to your Fox shows on your time with Odyssey. To get started, just download the free Odyssey app and search for Fox News Radio. That's Odyssey, A-U-D-A-C-Y. I'm spelling it out in case you're a little slow like me.
Put on your dancing shoes and pick up your phones. It's time to make picks on March College basketball. And with Underdog Fantasy, you can bring that excitement to wherever you watch. Playing on their app is as easy as choosing higher or lower on a player's stat lines like points, assists, rebounds. If you're doing the NHL, it's goals. You get those picks right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. Millions of fans have already won billions on Underdog. Will you be next? Get in the game by signing up today for Underdog using the promo code MARKR. That will claim a gimme pick as part of your first cash entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus credits when you deposit. Cash in on every bucket this season with Underdog. The way to get started is to sign up for the app. Download it, get a username and a password, and then use that promo code MARKR because that's going to give you that gimme pick plus up to $1,000 in bonus credits when you make a deposit. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Void where prohibited. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
It's almost time for baseball's return to St. Louis. Get ready to watch your Cardinals take the field at Busch Stadium. From home runs and fireworks to historic plays and rising stars, there's no better way to catch Cardinals baseball than with thousands of friends, old and new, in the sea of red. Grab your tickets now to join the fun in Cardinals Nation. Visit Cardinals.com for tickets and info. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
There is no better way to enjoy America's favorite pastime than cheering on the Cardinals with your family at Busch Stadium. From the thrill of watching the game to the kid-friendly activities, food, and fun, the ballpark has it all. Make magical memories as you cheer together for every home run, double play, and Cards win. Your family summer tradition starts here at Busch Stadium. Grab your tickets today at Cardinals.com. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
We all have different ideas of the perfect retirement, but they all depend on the same thing: not running out of money. And preparing for retirement can sometimes be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Find out how you could build your retirement on your terms. Join host Steve All for the All Financial Hour Saturday mornings at 6 here on 97.1 FM Talk.
You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Time to schedule your air conditioner service. Get your entire HVAC system checked for $19 a month with the preferred partner plan and be ready for the first heat wave. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Odyssey.com is a universe of audio, and it's where you can download the app to stream 97.1 FM Talk. The Odyssey app. Download it today and stream anytime from anywhere. Where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
Birds flying high.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
You know how I feel. Sun in the sky.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Breeze drifting on by. You know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. That was a fun X's and O's.
That was a good one. I thought that was going to be a really tough week, but you guys got, well, other than the one, there was only one question.
The Oscar question, I remember hearing a story about someone. What was Adrian Brody going on and on about?
I don't even remember. I just know that the story was that he had a whole speech, and he stood up there, and he started giving it, and it got to that time where it's like, okay, this is your time. They start playing him, and he stops, and he goes, stop playing the music. I'm going to read this whole speech. And they did.
And they did. That's all it's ever taken. Who knew? The Chris Matthews clip, I remember, like, I know when we played this. I remember it being irrational. I couldn't hear the voice in my head either to tip me off to Chris Matthews. So
the Andrew Bailey one, I was impressed because I thought there is a number of ways that this could go because there wasn't really anything in it that tipped off who said it. So it really could have been any 3, maybe even 4 people.
I do listen to them while I'm having the interview conducted here on the show.
Oh, good for you.
Thank you. Podcast available as well. You can go to the Odyssey app and listen to the Annie Fry Show podcast if you ever miss any of those things. They are all there. The YouTube live chat poll for today. I'm really curious what you guys think about this. We're going to talk about this for just a second. We're going to take another quick break because we went a little bit long in that first segment to wrap up X's and O's. Should Canada become a state? Donald Trump doesn't pass up an opportunity to say they should really be a state. And there's not really a whole lot of discussion about that. I don't see Republicans taking it up as an issue, and, pundits or folks in Congress, other people who are in the administration. I see Trump talking about it all of the time. But of all of the things this administration is doing and kind of stumping for, that one seems to be specifically just attached to Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Should Canada be a state?
I'm a no. I don't think they should be a state. I do think they should become something like a territory or some sort of agreement.
So not an autonomous country?
No. Yeah, I think that would be their best route, would be that they should become a part of the United States but not a state. Because he's right about their economics. If we didn't prop them up in so many ways, and their military, they're going to find out real soon how much they are dependent on us, and they may be finding that out now. Because we've been really, really generous with Canada, really across the board. And so I think in their best interest, I know there's a lot of reasons why we would like to have Canada strategically, the land, the place in the world where it touches and you're closer to Russia and you can have more strategy internationally by having all that land. I get all that. But I think they would benefit from being more attached to us than they are right now. And so I'm a no on a state, but I'm a yes on changing the relationship.
So the poll is a no.
I'm a no.
Brad?
I'm a no. I don't want Canada to be the 51st state. There's too many crazies that are up there in Canada, but I would propose a trade. We trade you, Portland, Oregon, and Washington State for Saskatchewan and Alberta. And so we get the best part of Canada, and they get the people that most agree with the politics that they have in Canada right now. So that would be my proposal. But to make the whole thing a 51st state, no. No, there are a bunch of liberals up there, and they would sway the vote, and the Republicans would never win another election.
When you hear Donald Trump say why the relationship is imbalanced, I listen. And I want to know more. And I am interested in the relationship becoming more balanced. And, I think about the conversation surrounding Greenland. There's a lot of military positioning benefits. There's land value for what Greenland has to offer. And we're not talking about Greenland regularly becoming a state. That would be one big freaking state. Canada?
That is a huge landmass-wise. It would be enormous.
Can you imagine being the senator traveling, one of the two senators having to travel your whole state?
Yeah, or the representatives. And but yeah, it's crazy. I've actually read that Canada's economy, though, is not even as big as like Arkansas.
It's not,
it's really not that
very
big.
I don't. The case has not yet been made for me to go to that great length. I think Donald Trump really wants his legacy to be visible far and wide, and the best way to do that is change the maps. I think that's why Gulf of America is so important to him, because he has been able to change the map to have his fingerprint on it. And I would also say that I don't think Mexico's maps are going to say Gulf of America. He doesn't really particularly get to change something like that and then force other people. I mean, if you look at, you can look at countries across the world and their calendars are different. Their time is different. Like, different places recognize different things. But if you acquire a state, then stuff starts to change everywhere. If you acquire Greenland that as a territory or something, I think that he understands legacy in this broader way, which makes it sound like it's selfish and it's just about him. I really understand the argument behind making a Greenland territory of the United States. I would just like to have a better, more respectful relationship between the United States and Canada. But I have, before this, had no thoughts about how Canada really needs to get in line. And post-Trump making these cases, I don't feel adversarial towards Canada whatsoever. It's one of the things that when he talks about, I'm like, let's move on. I would rather talk about reciprocal tariffs. I would rather talk about border security and deportations of hardened criminals that are sex trafficking children across our country and why it's important to do that than spend any time advocating for Canada as a state. So I'm not interested in Canada as a state at all.
It's definitely an issue that was not on anybody's mind before January 20th. He made that an issue. Yeah. And maybe it needs to be an issue, and maybe he's way overplaying Art of the Deal, asking for the world, and then he's going to get some concessions, and that's what he was going for the whole time. That's typically what he does.
Well, we want to know what you think. You can hurry up and get your vote, and we're approaching 300 votes today on this poll. Go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and tell us, should Canada become a state? Yes or no? It's a pretty simple question. We want to know what you think about it. We will get to some of your thoughts on the other side of this break as well regarding this question. For instance, Russell says, oh, heck no. They're just as fine as they are today. So not interested in pushing the Canada statehood. What about you? Annie Fry YouTube channel. Let us know. We'll be right back.
You know how I feel.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
You know how I feel.
Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
You know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-656-1551. That's 800-656-1551. 800-656-1551.
This is attorney Todd Nissenholtz of Kaufman Townsley. Victim of a car accident? Not choosing the best lawyer will cost you. But here's the good news. Since you don't pay unless we win, you can afford the very best. Kaufman Townsley. Call 314-500-5000.
If you're a homeowner, it's time to upgrade your windows with Window World. Mark Cox here. I am a satisfied customer. I love the windows they put in my house, and there's a reason they're ranked number one in the number of windows sold in this country by Qualified Remodeler magazine. They have that lifetime warranty. It covers all the parts, the glass breakage, the labor. You don't have to worry about it anymore. And in over 20 years in business, they have improved the look and the thermal efficiency of over 76,000 customers in the greater St. Louis area. Window World is now offering 36 months, same as cash financing, with approved credit. And I think the customer service sets them apart from the rest of their competition. And they have an excellent track record with the Better Business Bureau. They've also raised a lot of money, over $3 million for local and national charities. So be sure and check them out. Call them at 314-993-1800. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. You can also go to windowworld.com.
The YouTube live chat poll today is, should Canada become a state, yes or no? We were just discussing this. And by the way, my economic numbers were per capita GDP, not total GDP, just to clarify. Should Canada become a state, yes or no? You vote on that by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube and let us know what you think. We'll give the results here in just a couple minutes. 2:48. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Fry Show.
I can see you through the curtains of the waterfall. When I lost it, yeah, you held my hand, but I tossed it. Didn't understand you were waiting as I dove into the waterfall. So say.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. That YouTube live chat poll, should Canada become a state? Chris on YouTube says, we don't want Canada, too many socialists. Is that the case?
Yeah, that is exactly right.
Yeah, but if they didn't have Canadian government, they wouldn't have socialism.
Well, but they'd push toward it.
They're the ones that put Canadian government in place.
Are they?
Yeah, they're also the ones that voted back in Justin Trudeau.
Over and over.
How would that just implement into the United States?
I think they would probably see some benefits, like lower taxes. I mean, right now they pay higher taxes.
They
than
could
we
own
do.
firearms
Yeah,
again.
but if they're going to pay lower taxes, they're going to get less government.
Well, maybe. I mean,
Well, then they're going to pay higher taxes.
We'd
We're all
see.
going to pay higher
Well,
taxes.
but would we absorb it? Because we're just so much bigger. Would we absorb the fact that they're paying lower and still getting the same services? I don't know. I
They
don't know how
wouldn't get
that'd
the
work.
same services they're getting through Canadian government, though.
It would have to change. Yeah.
It would be significant, a significant lifestyle change for them. Andy says, no. Why did he even start this argument about the 51st state? I think it's really just because Trudeau came to Mar-a-Lago and Trump kind of was screwing around and he was like, that's not a bad idea.
Well, I think he really thought this through, and I don't know about the talking point of 51st state, but he has thought through what his tariffs would do to Canada, and so he got out ahead of the whole tariff conversation and said, you could avoid all the problems that are coming if you just did this.
If you added Greenland as a state and Canada as a state, does that cancel each other out?
Like, representative-wise?
Senatorially, it probably would.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And if you're saying the population is the population of Arkansas, what did you say it was?
No,
You
their
said the-
economy, their
Oh.
per capita GDP is one of the lowest in, I think it might be the lowest in North America. But I think it's only above Mississippi or something like that. Like, it's really low. Their total GDP is higher than that. But, like Greenland, that the population of Greenland is like 60,000 people. So you're not talking about adding a ton
Yeah,
of
it's like St.
population.
Charles.
Yeah.
Jack said, I voted no in the poll. I think Trump just suggested it to trigger the flaming libs and poke Trudeau, and it worked to perfection. Except for he was talking about it today, and Trudeau is out. Sometimes I feel like Donald Trump sets things up that he's going to lose so that he can take concessions in places he's comfortable with.
The whole the Greenland thing to me is much more fascinating than Canada, because Greenland actually is considering breaking away from Denmark.
But it's also not discussed as statehood.
No, it's not really anymore. Yeah.
And I mean, like, it never really was about statehood. It was about coming into the
Coming into the
United
fold,
States
yeah.
family, which makes me feel like that's way more of a serious discussion than turning Canada into a state. That I feel like the Greenland conversation is a serious one, and the Canadian conversation is not.
Yeah, the Canadian conversation really looks like negotiation, whereas Greenland is actually moving towards steps that look like maybe they actually will be a part of the United States soon. Canada has just gone full on national pride, which I think is actually kind of cool to watch.
You're like, oh, that's cute.
I really do.
Look at you.
Yeah, I mean, I like watching that. And in fact, that's what Trump is kind of doing to every nation in the world right now, is making them go, well, what makes you you? Why don't you focus on that?
4D chess. Scott says, I'm a no on Canada being a state. With its size, what would that mean for electoral votes in elections? Joe said, it's been a fun troll, but seriously considering amalgamating Canada into the United States is ridiculous. Wishing that Ottawa was more amenable to fair business. Okay. I mean, too many big words, Joe. Put your word of the day toilet paper down. Lori says, no, I don't think we need any more states.
Okay.
And I'm okay with that.
No, we're full.
Vicky's good. Vicky says, no, the last thing we need in our country is more liberal progressives. And Lambo said, I said no because of the breakdown for size with popular, and electorates votes probably is what they're talking about.
It's all that one word. It looked like one giant, very
I'm like,
smart word.
I have been out intellectualed today. I don't even think that's a word.
Let us know, Purple Lando, if that's a word.
So we're 3 for 3 no's on this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Department of Education closing down, does this story just kind of melt into the fold of everything the Trump administration is doing? I have a feeling that this is the one that could have legs to make the angry people come out more. Doge has been the thing that's kept people hot and bothered. And I think that the reaction I'm seeing from the people in education who are part of the system, not just teachers, but people who rely on the system status quo. You know, we're posting things now.
I think this melts in. I know that right now people are up in arms about it in the system, like you said. But pretty soon, we're going to realize that a lot of that system was unnecessary from Washington, D.C., and the system may still yell about it, but it's going to become noise real soon, and it's just going to melt into everything else.
And as they get back into the school year next year and they see that things didn't actually change and maybe even get a little bit better, they'll stop worrying about it.
Before Trump won, and we were talking about, because Elon Musk was, numbers off the top of my head, 426 agencies in government. They'd like it to get it to 99. Again, numbers off the top of my head. The point remains, we said multiple times, how many of those agencies get cut before we feel it? If you had your hands over your ears and you just went through life going, la, 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 I'm not listening, I'm not paying attention, how long would it take for those cuts to infiltrate your life? I know people who have felt those cuts. I know people who are affected in some way because you've contacted me and you've told me that. I don't think I felt them personally myself yet. And you wonder how much more they can go, because they're going to go as far as they can go. That's
the way you feel it right now is if you lose your job. Aside from that, I don't think the services themselves have really or will change.
Yeah. And there's, like we've said a million times as well, they're going to make mistakes. They're going to pull something off the table and they're going to, we need to put that back. And they'll have to learn and they'll have to admit it as well as they do. Should Canada become a state? We asked you 264 votes on a Friday afternoon. 80% say no.
Wow.
80% say no. All right, Mark Reardon Fish Fry this week.
Yep.
Once again, I won't
Round
ask
table
where
coming
it
up
is
next.
because last time we got it wrong. But you should keep it right here and find out and go visit them today. The Mark Reardon Show next. Don't go away.
Let me tell you one of the reasons I think we became the largest injury firm in the world, and it's not even close. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My wife and I had a plan early on. In our firm, our lawyers only work on certain types of cases. Our products liability and dangerous drug lawyers only work on those cases. Same for car crashes, workers' compensation, medical malpractice, and insurance disputes. Our thinking is for these lawyers to focus on one area of the law and live it and breathe it. Power comes from knowledge. Many lawyers do everything, jack of all trades. Not us, and we don't charge an hourly rate. You only pay us if we win. If you want to hire us, it's easy. Dial Pound Law on your cell phone, pound 529, or visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer from the comfort of your own home. Let us get to work for you. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Triton Exteriors. I think you have picked up by now that I am big fans of this company. I'm big fans of Tim, the owner. I just trust him. I think he does a great job at customer service. Also, I really want to push the James Hardy Smart Siding. So we just came through some really bad storms, as you know. Because of the way the Smart Siding is made, the way it's manufactured, the way it's installed, if you had James Hardy Smart Siding, you would not have had any damage to your siding. Just something to put in your equation as you make these decisions. If you did have some damage, or you're afraid you did, whether it's wind damage on your roof or hail, your regular siding, your gutters, your fences, you can't do better than reaching out to my friends. It's Triton Exteriors. Call 314-717-1159 or go online at triton-stl.com. You can absolutely trust these guys. They'll do a great job for you. 314-717-1159 for Triton Exteriors.
Hi, I'm Uzo Aduba, and right now medical information is not regularly being shared within the research community, but you can help change that. Patients can help accelerate research by sharing their information and unique experience.
Everyone's experience with cancer matters, including my own.
If you're a cancer patient in the U.S. and its territories or Canada, you may be able to play a part in accelerating cancer research and uncovering new breakthroughs simply by sharing your patient data with researchers around the world.
My unique experience can make the difference of life and death to some of the people in my community.
Only for very unimportant papers, and I don't call them unimportant. If you do letters where people write in and, they'd love to have a response, or we'll write responses, and I'll sign them whenever I can, but when I can't, I, would use an auto pen. But to use them for what they've used them for is terrible.
So President Trump there talking about the implementation of AutoPen. Yes, it's something that presidents do. You got to imagine there's a lot of correspondence that comes along with being the president. And speaking to the American people is certainly one of those things. You'd love to have a signed letter from the president. That might get an AutoPen signature on it. But when you pardon your own son, is that the time to go ahead and put the AutoPen signature on the document? Let's talk to Andrew Bailey about it. Of course, Andrew Bailey is looking into this. He's pursuing this, and he is the Attorney General of the state of Missouri. It's so great to have you on the show with us once again, Attorney General. We're grateful for your time, and we want to know what you have pursued and found out about the AutoPen signatures used in the Biden administration.
Seresto knows that some situations just suck. Fleas and ticks suck too. Seresto.
Well, thanks for having me on. And look, this is a fraud of constitutional proportion. At the end of the day, the use of the auto pen is just one element of the problem. But the bigger issue is who was authorizing the use of the auto pen, and did President Biden have any understanding about the documents that his name was being affixed to and the legal implications of those documents? And here's the broader picture. Since February of 2024, Biden's own Department of Justice had posited that he lacked the mental acuity to form an intentional mental state. Remember when his special counsel declined to charge him with stealing classified documents because they said he was an enfeebled old man and no one would believe he could form that intentional state? Well, if that's true, then he doesn't have the mental acuity to be affixing his name to legal documents of constitutional proportion. Look, these types of challenges are raised all the time in probate courts across the state of Missouri and across the United States of America when somebody signs a will or other testamentary instrument that disperses their assets after their death, and then somebody wants to challenge whether they were of sound mind when they did that. The difference here is we're not talking about the disbursements of assets in probate court. We're talking about constitutional authority, and under Article 2 of the United States Constitution, all executive authority is vested in a singular president of the United States. So if unelected staff were making decisions on the president's behalf, then those decisions lack any legal validity, so that no pardon was actually issued. Hunter Biden may have a document that purports to have authenticity, but if Biden didn't actually know what he was doing and authorized his name to be affixed to it, it's no pardon at all. It lacks all legal validity.
Man, that's heavy, and that's how long would this have been the case in the Biden administration? There are a lot of questions that are going to need to be answered. Attorney General Andrew Bailey with us right now. So let me just parse this real quick here. The auto pen is a legal signature in and of itself. Is that correct?
In most instances, unless the legal authority says that the legal authority authorizing the document says that it has to be the president's signature. If it's just it has to be approved by the president, then certainly an auto pen would be legally valid in that instance. So the use of the auto pen in and of itself is just one element of the problem.
So, and then secondarily, so it sounds like the question is, did he authorize the use of this signature? Did he know what was being signed?
Could he even authorize it? Yeah, exactly.
How do you find that out?
Could he? Well, I think that we're taking steps to do that. Number one, we sent a demand letter to the Inspector General at the Department of Justice asking the IG to review the matter to determine who was drafting the documents, who was putting them in front of the president. At what point did he, if by February of 2024 he lacked the mental acuity to form an intentional mental state, did the individuals who were then teeing up signature and auto penning of these documents understand that? And at what point did the president lose the mental acuity to form an intentional mental state? And again, we've got a growing quantum of evidence that points to Biden's lack of self-awareness, lack of the cognitive ability. Not only did his own DOJ make such a finding and declining to charge him with a felony offense, but Speaker Johnson talked about going in and questioning the president as to why he would sign an executive order that harmed American energy, and the president didn't know what he was talking about, that he'd never done it. Well, that's not true. Your signature's on it. You've got now Democrats coming out as recently as last month saying that the president's staff was limiting access to the president because they were trying to shield him from anyone understanding how bad his cognitive decline had gotten. And so, again, this is a growing quantum of evidence that calls into question whether the documents that were issued ever had legal validity.
We are speaking with the Attorney General for the state of Missouri. Andrew Bailey is talking with us right now about the auto pen signatures that have been discovered on a whole host of different things that came out of the Biden administration. Of course, you have the Constitution at your fingertips. You have the legal expertise to pursue this. What does that look like materialistically for us as we're viewing your actions here to get to the bottom of what the truth is?
Well, I think that the Department of Justice Inspector General will conduct a full and thorough review, and then should if allowed, should author a report at some point in the future declaring whether or not they view the documents as legally valid. You know, what I'm hearing the president say in recent remarks is that he does not seem to think that those documents are legally valid. If that's true, that means that those documents can be challenged. So in other words, the criminal prosecutions and ultimate punishments can go forward, and it's up to the individuals then to defend the pardon that they think they received. The problem is, how are they going to have the evidence to do that? And I think it's really telling that Biden has been silent on this issue. If somebody was questioning your state of mind, wouldn't you go to the public and say, hey, what are they talking about? I'm fine. I knew what I was signing. He hasn't done that. Why is he so silent on this? I think that emphasizes the problem here.
Yeah, and Attorney General, I recall when it looked like they were trying to push him out of being the candidate to run for re-election. I remember he called that big press conference, and it went horrible. It was terrible. He came out to try to prove that he was up for the job, and he proved that he wasn't. So I think that kind of lends to the big question marks surrounding this issue. What was his mental state, and how long was it that way? Let me ask you this question. Would other people, if he weren't aware of these signatures being put on these documents, then that would mean that people did it without his approval.
Those are forgeries.
That seems like there'd be great legal peril involved in being a part of that.
Absolutely. They have criminal and civil liability. That's what I'm saying. These are forged documents. That's why this is a fraud perpetrated upon the American people of constitutional proportions. I mean, it's unprecedented in American history that this would have happened this way. And with the volume, look at the number of pardons that he issued and the number of official actions he purported to have taken. And again, my point is, if he didn't know what he was signing, if he didn't know his name was being affixed to the documents, no pardon was actually issued. So again, I think this is a fraud of constitutional proportion.
Well, we want to continue to follow as you are pushing on this. We want to know the details that you're discovering. We'll continue to have you back for that. If I may shift it real quick before we let you go, I want your comments as an attorney general, as somebody who understands the legal system very well. These district judges that we're seeing, these federal judges who are single-handedly trying to stop Donald Trump in his tracks, deporting criminals from our country, among other things. What are your thoughts on some of these activist judges and what the natural outcome should be here with the great power they've put into just their single judgeship?
Well, I mean, it's a judicial usurpation of authority, and there are three branches of government that are co-equal. The judiciary is not the end-all, be-all of the federal government. They share power with the other two branches, and certain authority, like national security and foreign policy, are given to the executive branch. The issues with the flights to South America of the Tren de Aragua criminals, those are not reviewable by a federal court because they're foreign policy and national security issues. The judge has no more authority to question or stop what President Trump is doing than the judge has to pick out bombing targets during a time of war or to direct the movement of troops on a battlefield.
Does the President of the United States have the authority to disregard these rulings that come from these judges?
Well, the judge's ruling purporting to interfere with the president's constitutional authority is not legally valid in the same way that pardons that are issued in a president's name that the president doesn't even know about lack legal validity. So when you've got that kind of usurpation of authority, I don't know that it has any legal validity at all. And I disagree with the Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts, who is saying, well, look, we can't impeach judges just because we disagree with them. Well, this goes beyond just a simple disagreement. This is a blatant usurpation of power. It's one thing if we you think this evidence is hearsay. I think it's not hearsay. Reasonable minds can disagree. It's different when you have a judge meddling in national security and foreign affairs in direct violation of the plain text of the Constitution.
Andrew Bailey speaking with us right now, Attorney General Andrew Bailey of the state of Missouri. The final question I have for you is in regards to this administration's preparedness. When they came in, they knew what they wanted to do, and it seems as though those 4 years that Donald Trump has been sitting on the bench, that they have been working for the opportunity to implement this should he win re-election once again. And I heard the press gaggle ask Tom Homan the other day, you went and found a 200-year-old law and are trying to apply it here in the Enemy Aliens Act to try to make it so that they could do these deportations. What do you think about the Trump administration's willingness to use the full width of the law? 200 years old, the Constitution's a little bit older than that, Tom Homan reminded us. What do you think of their willingness and their creativity to get the job done using these laws that may have not been used in recent past?
I think it is bold. I think it is decisive. I think it's just what the doctor ordered, and it's what the American people have demanded. The American people made their voices heard in November, and the president and his team are executing on that mandate, and I'm excited to see it. I'm filled with optimism at the rebirth of our nation under the president's leadership.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very good take on it, and we appreciate you sharing it with us here on the Annie Fry Show. Attorney General Andrew Bailey, thank you for the time today. Keep working at it. We'll get you back on here for an update.
Thank you, man. Look forward to talking soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Put in the work. Break a record. Break another one. Break into fashion. Break into, that looks fun,